Tonight's guest is Rockin' Randy Stewart and special guest Khym Christensen.
Looking back on the life that you're leaving, let it rest in a hole in the ground. Stick around for the great revealing, or the fire you've been dancing around. All we hear is the sound of retreating. No one cares where you're coming from. My ears are still ringing and bleeding. I guess we all knew from the start. These are the days my heart goes numb. Yeah, one of these days will be the one. We're looking for answers. Oh, what a disaster. These are the days my heart goes numb. My heart goes numb. Breathing the fumes of the ashes, the spirits light up the night, looking down the ocean.
We're live from the Untold Radio Network. It's Untold Radio AM with Monster Quest producer, host Doug Hajicek, and co-host Jeff Perrella Jr. Untold Radio AM is going live right now.
This show is for entertainment purposes only. Yep, that's the ticket. Now here are your Untold Radio AM hosts, Doug Hajicek and Jeff Perrella Jr.
Hello, everyone. Waiting for Doug to check in here. There he is.
I'm here.
And why did it do that?
I'm only here.
Right, there we go.
There we go.
I zigged when I should have zagged.
Yeah, it's fine. Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Sorry about that delay. My computer got taken over by parasitic aliens.
Yeah, every time it's just unbelievable. It's always some tech issues.
It's like, okay, I'm looking right now. This is a Mac, right? I have a Mac operating system.
Well, there's your first problem.
Well, yeah and no. I've used PCs too. They're all the same.
Yeah, fair enough.
There's been 30 updates since last night to my computer. 30 of them.
Yeah.
And then Zoom decided to update, and it parasitically grabs all of your software.
Right.
And
Take
just
over the
says,
microphone, camera, and all that.
no, we're not going to let you use your software. You're going to use our software. So you got to reboot and then close everything. It's a nightmare.
But here we are.
Yes, we are here. And I should say, above all odds, because...
Yeah, I had quite a week. Holy smokes. I ended up I drove myself to the ER very late Wednesday night, early Thursday morning, and ended up having emergency gallbladder surgery.
Of all things,
it was not fun.
Of all
not
the
at all.
gall. Of all the gall, Jeff.
Yeah, I have no more gall.
No.
I am without gall right now.
Well, we're gonna find out why you need your gall.
Oh man, that was not fun. Yeah, I spent 2 nights in the hospital. Oh no, wait, one. Yeah, 2 nights in the hospital and every test imaginable and emergency surgery and.
Yeah, but you're lucky though, because if I've been with people when their gallbladders exploded.
Yeah.
And from infections, and it's like
got it before that, but boy, it sure hurt.
Yep. Who knows? We don't even really know what they're for. We sort of know, but we sort of
kinda. And apparently, you can get along pretty good without it. So I don't have one anymore, and I've
known
4 new holes in my belly. So
I've known numerous people without their gallbladder, and they're like, I don't know what it's any difference.
Yeah.
Okay, what do we got going on? Okay, so tonight we have 2 guests. We're going to bring on Khym Christensen first, and she's got some amazing stories.
Yeah.
She's an eyewitness and a researcher. And then we'll have our usual few fun segments. And then we've got Rockin' Randy Stewart coming on.
He's awesome.
And yeah, he is awesome. He's a handful, but he's awesome.
Yeah.
And you'll know what I mean. He's got
I had a great time just chatting with him.
Oh yeah, he's got more energy.
Yeah.
And like 20
got some good stories.
So it'll be fun. But he's had a Bigfoot encounter and it changed his life.
I bet.
Okay, what do we got here? I'm just okay. So you didn't even hear about what happened to me though.
I did not. I was kind of occupied this week.
So I had a harrowing week too. I was in the throes of the medical world too.
Yuck.
My ear crystals in my right ear came out of place, and that's what keeps your balance.
Sure.
So I went through severe vertigo, and in fact, one point falling really bad, and I ripped the whole side of my leg open. Like I ripped it bad. I tore an artery. So I cut an artery, blah, blah, blah. So I went through all sorts of fun. And then finally had to get into my ENT. And then they do a procedure that realigns your ear crystals that are these little microscopic, I don't know what they're made out of. They look like little diamonds.
Huh.
And they realign them and get them in the right place. And then you're fine. Your vertigo's gone. Weird. But it was so bad. You feel like you're spinning. You actually visually see the world spinning. Yeah. Not only do you see it, then you feel it, and you feel like you're falling at the same time. So it
doesn't sound fun at all.
It's not. At one point, when it first hit was when I had laid down to read my granddaughter a bedtime story. And I thought I was going to die. And I thought, well, what a great place to die right next to my granddaughter.
Jeez.
And anyhow, then I figured out what it was, and so between
I'm glad you're okay.
Yeah, of course, I'm fine. I was minor compared to what happened to you, but the point is, we had a harrowing week.
Yeah, it was something else. That was not fun at all.
So anyhow, we are here.
Still not 100%, but I'm on the mend. Back to
proof that we really care about you guys.
Yeah, we're here.
Yeah, we're not weaklings. We pull through.
I'm a trooper. I wasn't going to take the night off.
You were a guilt set in.
No. I like doing this. I want to be here.
If Jeff springs a hole while we're on the air here, he'll
if I disappear, that's why I got one of these 4 new holes is leaking, but I should be good.
You'll be all right. Anyhow, what do we got? Let's do our weird and fast news first.
Weird and fast news. Here we go.
It's time for weird and fast news. Yeah! It's time for weird and fast news.
And here we are.
Weird and fast.
Yeah. So here's the first weird and fast thing. Apparently, the wild hogs in Texas, in Beaumont, specifically, made the national headlines that apparently Texas and nearby neighborhoods, feral hogs have pushed straight into the suburbs, into residential life, ripping up people's lawns, rooting up their gardens, bulldozing fences over like squatters with tusks. Residents say the hogs have gotten so bold that they're cruising through their yards in broad daylight. They're pawing through trash cans, chasing pets, on and on and on.
Yeah, they're a menace.
And says Texas wildlife officials warn that this surge isn't just property damage. These feral hogs have a long record of attacking people, as seen in this picture that I drew personally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with my own hands I drew.
Nice
that.
job. At least it's got 4 legs.
I did. Yeah, it does. And there's something wrong with the snout, though. You see that?
Yeah, looks a little
something's weird going on.
Historic or something. But yeah, those things are a menace. I've known people that have been in those areas. They just are impossible to keep contained. They reproduce like crazy. They're mean. They can do a ton of damage. Yeah.
Well, especially when they're with their young. If they're protecting their young or they're food stressed. And it says injuries are ranging from deep lacerations to broken bones after hogs charged walkers, hikers, and even folks just stepping outside at night. Apparently, there's an estimated 2 million hogs statewide, and rising.
Yuck.
Ugh,
Get rid of them.
it's coming. It's like keep your dogs leashed and never try to scare a hog off alone.
No.
So there
Bad
you go.
news.
All right, then we've got flamingo. Flamingos blocking highways. It says a flock of flamingos in Central Florida apparently decided traffic laws were more like a traffic suggestion. Early this week, they occupied all 4 lanes of Highway 27, walking shoulder to shoulder like pink-feathered hooligans, staging a parade that nobody asked for.
Pink feathered hooligans. I like that.
Drivers stopped, filmed, and questioned the reality as the birds took their sweet time. I had the same thing happen. I had to bring Yvette to a meeting.
And
there was
flamingos charged you?
No, they weren't flamingos. They were geese, Canadian geese.
Pink
They were
feathered?
just like taking their time, walking across from the mill pond up in Anoka, if you know where that is.
I do.
Right at the end of the bridge.
Mhm.
And they're all just walking. They kept coming. There was like 100 of them. And
They're
what
a
are you gonna
menace.
do? If I would have honked at them, I probably would have got yelled at by somebody. So
Sure.
I just waited and waited. So scientists say flamingos are expanding into areas they haven't lived in for a century. Much rather have flamingos than hogs, right?
Forming gangs, robbing liquor stores.
Yes.
Can't be stopped.
And then let's see here. Apparently NASA, I didn't draw a picture for this, but NASA apparently accidentally waked up a 50-year-old space probe. Accidentally.
Pretty amazing.
So what's that going to hurt, right? Voyager 1,
Incredible.
assumed to be drifting in deep space, retirement suddenly sent back a burst of coherent data.
Absolutely amazing.
After receiving a new software patch. So NASA engineers called it a miracle. So maybe it'll beam back some photos that actually have some meaning.
Yeah, that's incredible. It's
That was 50 years ago. That thing is
it's
still
incredible
going.
that they get that thing. At some point, it's going to run out of solar power. But man, that's incredible.
That's a good. I bet it had ever ready batteries.
It's just amazing that those things are still ticking. It's crazy.
So apparently, what they sent it up in 1972, something like that. Okay.
No, more like
When?
That doesn't sound right. I want to say it was like 78, 79. I was born in 72, and I remember them launching. So it was after that.
Okay, now next, right out of your nightmares, lab-grown mini brains. Just what we need. Lab-grown mini brains are playing ping pong.
Cool.
Pong. You remember the game Pong?
Sure do.
A group of neuroscientists created pea-sized clusters of living neurons that spontaneously learned how to play Pong.
What could go wrong?
Yeah, exactly. No screen, no joystick, just little brains. Apparently they're receiving signals and reacting. The lab called it intelligent behavior. Everyone else calls it the beginning of every sci-fi movie where things go completely sideways.
Yeah, that's a terrible idea.
The researchers insist these little mini brains can think, feel, and write angry reviews online. That's a joke. I made that up. Still, it's unsettling to imagine little tiny blobs of neurons somewhere whispering, I must defeat the opponent.
Yeah, that is crazy.
It is just nuts. Oh my God. I had a buddy of mine call me up who happens to work with really high-end photography.
Mm-hmm.
And he got invited. I can't mention where the lab was, but he got invited to a lab where they have all these organs, including brains growing. And he's like, oh, Doug, you got to come over here and you've got to see this. It's so creepy. There's like hearts beating and lungs breathing and, where they've created these organs.
That's unsettling.
They're 3D printing things.
Yeah, what could go wrong?
Yeah, really, exactly. Then mysterious green fireball over Australia. Have you ever seen a green fireball, Jeff?
I have not.
I have numerous ones. It says a bright green fireball blazed across Western Australian sky, lighting up the night like a cosmic Roman candle. Locals thought it was a UFO. space junk, or maybe a sign that the kangaroos were finally summoning reinforcements. Astronomers, hey, I didn't write this shit. Astronomers later confirmed it was a meteor containing rare magnesium compounds. And apparently that's what causes these green fireballs.
I've seen red and white. I've never seen green.
Yeah, so it's magnesium compounds. People reported sonic booms that rattled windows and sent dogs running for the underworld. The meteor broke apart harmlessly, scattering pebble-sized fragments across the desert. Treasure hunters are already searching, hoping to snag a rock worth more than their truck, which they are expensive. If you can find a meteor,
that'd be cool.
Or meteorite, they're quite spendy to buy. So there you go. Next, this is Jeff's favorite story. The octopus that stole a kayak almost. In Washington State, 2 kayakers spotted a giant Pacific octopus while paddling near a rocky inlet. The creature wrapped its 2 arms around the bow of the kayak, tugged hard, and then seemed seconds away from stealing the whole boat like a nautical bandit. After a tense standoff, the octopus let go and drifted off with the vibe of someone saying, "Fine, keep your stupid plastic log." Marine biologists say octopuses are curious, not malice. Octopi, what?
That's a plural.
It says octopuses.
Uh-huh.
Hey, I'm just reading what I'm seeing.
Me too. Sure, why not?
It does not say octopi. It says...
I believe, someone checked me on that. Isn't that the plural, octopus, octopi?
I think you're right. Yeah, whatever. You're right. You're smarter now. Your gallbladder fell out. Apparently they're curious, not malice, but this one clearly wanted to test its resume. Boat thief almost. Kayakers are now advising each others to keep their snacks sealed because apparently even octopuses appreciate a good granola bar.
Yeah, who wouldn't?
Yeah, who wouldn't?
They're clever.
Yeah. And then we've got the weird creepy fact of
the week.
It's now time for Untold Radio Weird Fact of the Week. That is kind of weird.
I like that bumper.
You like the music. I think you're into hip hop or something.
I mean, everything. I like a lot of music.
Yeah, you do.
But it's a fun bumper.
Don't ever ask Eric what kind of music he likes.
Not like mine.
No. I don't know if Eric's in here, but Eric, your music is ugh. Okay. Apparently there is a zombie cicadas that turn into zombies from a fungal parasitic fungi. And can you read that? It's called Massospora. Infects cicadas and replicates.
Literally the Massospora infects cicadas. Yeah, this is creepy as heck. I've read about this. This is creepy.
It replaces their abdomen with a chalky white fungal plug, and then eats, of course, their lower half of the body, replaces it, and then the fungus doesn't kill them right away. It hollows out their belly, and the white fungus dust pours out like a busted donut. And then they become sex-crazed zombies after infection, and the male cicadas start exhibiting hypersexual behavior, mating with everything, even mimicking female wing flick signals to trick other males. Now, apparently the fungus wants to spread, right? So it does these strange behaviors. And apparently the cicadas fly, they hop, and they mate, and the fungus shoots spores out of their missing abdomen like little salt shakers of doom.
No thanks. That sounds horrible.
Oh, God, it's terrible. It's good.
Khym's shaking her head no. That doesn't dig it either.
Yeah. He'll box them up and send them to you. Khym.
No thanks.
I mean, you know what? Let's bring Khym on.
Sure.
Now, Khym resides in Oregon, and she had an insane encounter. She wrote me And I don't know, did she send you any of the photos or?
I've got some pictures and some video here. Yeah.
Well, good. Well, let's just bring Khym on.
All right. Welcome,
She
Khym.
can tell us what the heck went down.
Hello,
Hey,
Khym.
Doug.
Hey, Khym.
Hey, Jeff.
Good,
Hi.
Good to see you. And thank you for sending me that cool letter. 'Cause
Absolutely.
I was like, whoa, this is crazy.
Right?
You walked into a let's see, what do we call it? Kind of a nest of Bigfoots, basically.
It was more like a random crossing. I think
Yeah.
we both surprised each other.
Well, go ahead and just tell us the story. You start at the beginning.
Yeah, basically, me and my friend Kevin have been cutting firewood all week. So we were like just working our butts off between storms. And we had a nice sunny day, and we decided we're going to take a break and just go down the coast and look for mushrooms because, like, the local mushrooms are popping. And I like to forage and collect mushrooms for my freezer. So it was like just one of those days. We just decided to take the dogs and go for a drive. And, I picked New River. It's one of my favorite places to go, just hike around. It's a beautiful area. So we're just out there enjoying the day. And I left Kevin and took off with my dog, just exploring the area. And I'm, walking through the forest. We're about half a mile off the ocean. And you're in like coastal scrub pine. And the terrain is really interesting because it's like rolling dunes where the forest had grown up over it.
Okay.
So there's like huckleberries and sallow.
Is the soil sandy too?
Yeah, it's like sand dunes.
Okay.
Yeah, very sandy. Like you dig in the ground and it's just solid sand dune.
Wow.
So I'm just, hiking along this ridge line, just along the top of the edge of the ridge. And I went down into this area that's kind of open to the east where there's a big sand ball. And I'm skirting along the side of this ridge line. And me and Floki, we heard voices. Like I thought there was other people out there in the woods with me. So I'm like, generally when I hear people, I try to like go scope them out and introduce myself and see if they're friendly or, what kind of people are out there. So like if it's, scary, I'll leave. So it's my normal to go towards the voices. I kind of sneak up like real quiet.
How loud were
of,
they? How loud were they, Khym?
They were loud enough I could hear that it sounded like two men. It was like deep voices. But I couldn't make out what they were saying. So, and my dog zoned in on them too. He like knew there were people there. He totally was looking that direction too. And so we started going up this little cut in the terrain that goes up to the top of the sand ridge. And I could tell they were over on the other side of the ridge. And it was all brushy trees. And so as I'm working my way up this little ravine cut, I could hear them again. So I heard them twice. And then my dog barked in the direction of the sounds twice. And he never barks at people, which was kind of weird to begin with. So we're working our way up to the top of the ridge. And I could tell they were on the other side coming in our direction. And when I first saw the silhouette come into my view, it was about 25 feet up at the top of this ridge line. And I could see like a side profile. And my first thought was like, is that a ghillie suit? And it was just, I was confused because I was expecting to see like people dressed in normal clothing. And I'm like looking at this shape going, that's weird, right? And then the figure came up into this open spot, and there's some trees and brush there, and it turned and faced us. And I'm staring at this dark figure, really dark colored, and I'm like trying to like figure out, it looks like a big guy in a ghillie suit, but my brain couldn't comprehend at first. So I'm looking at this face, and as I scan down the shoulders and the arms, I could see muscles, like really big square shoulders, big muscles, and then hair. And then it was like, holy crap. I froze because that wasn't a man in a ghillie suit. And I literally was just standing there frozen, staring I had said hello actually right before that. Let me
Nice.
digress.
Nice. Okay. Well,
As
that's a
I
good
was
thing to
going up
say.
the cut, I was like, hello, hello. And I didn't get a response back. Usually people that are out in the woods will say hi or hello, and let you know they're, in the vicinity. And this time it was like dead silent. So I'm standing there about 20, 25 feet away from this figure. It's uphill from me, staring back at me. And my dog was actually standing in front of us, staring at him too. And I can't say if it was a male or female, but it was like, holy crap. I couldn't, my brain was about to explode. I mean, I literally froze. So I'm standing there staring at this figure, and it starts to sway back and forth like this, just really
Wow.
softly, and I could see the hair flowing. It's like
Was it windy?
the hair really.
Was it kind of windy, Khym, or just
It
breezy?
wasn't. It was a beautiful, calm day.
Okay.
It was a blue sky, no wind. I mean, and they were so quiet. It was like, wow. So I'm standing there staring at this figure. It's staring back at me. I could see it was really dark. The face was the same color as the hair. It looked like it had a big cape hanging down over its shoulders. And its arms were like slightly bent. I think it was hunched forward a little bit, and its arms were raised because I could see the hair hanging off the arms. And as it was swaying back and forth, I could see the hair flowing. And it seemed like forever, Doug. I mean, it was probably only 8 to 10 seconds when that first individual came into my view. But it seemed like it was like time stood still, basically.
Wow.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So I'm standing there like frozen. I'm like, I didn't know what to do. And I grew up in the woods. I've been around all kinds of like bear wildlife, and I've never froze like this before. I mean, I've actually encountered mountain lions on my own property, and I was able to move in those situations and, take a step, turn my head, listen. But I literally felt frozen. It was the weirdest
Wow.
thing. And then it turned and it walked out of the clear area where I had a good view of it, down over the slope, and it walked out of my view behind a tree and some brush. And I'm just standing there going, holy crap. I just saw a Sasquatch.
No, you said holy shit.
Yeah, pretty much in my brain, I'm
in your
sitting there,
brain,
my
okay.
brain's about to
You're swearing in
explode.
your brain. Okay.
So it was totally not expected. It was so unexpected. And then a second figure came up into the same space and stood exactly where the first one was. It came up a lot quicker, turned, looked at me and my dog, and then it dove from a standing position down over the bank where the other one had went just a few seconds earlier. And I could see the angle of its back and the hair as it went from upright to this diving position and just disappeared.
So it took
that second one.
Do you think it went on all fours, Khym? Did it go
I
on all
believe
fours?
it went down on all fours because the way the tracks were after I finally got enough senses about me to go up there and investigate it, it took me about 5 minutes to actually even move. Because I actually heard brush rattling up to the right. So I think there might have been a third one. So I wasn't sure where they were, where they went, or what they were going to do. So I literally stood there on the side of this, bank ravine in the trees, just frozen. And my dog, he didn't even move. Normally he chases things. Or if people come around, he'll run up and start wagging his tail. And he's super friendly. So this was so out of character.
So he was
my
just
dog
frozen.
too.
He was just frozen. He didn't do anything.
He was frozen. Yeah, he absolutely just stood there and stared at these individuals. Like,
Wow.
it was the weirdest thing. And he actually didn't move until I moved. So that was really odd. It was almost like we were both like paralyzed for a minute. So yeah,
weird.
when I finally got enough nerve to like go up there, because like I am a researcher, and I've had other experiences in my past. This is actually my very first full daylight sighting. I mean, I was like 98.7% sure they existed. I mean, I've had vocals, I found footprints, I've had vocalizations, rocks thrown at our campsite over the years, and like in a 20-year period of going out in the woods there. I mean, I've had all these different experiences in my life, but I've never actually seen one in the daylight.
Wow.
So that was just like, wow, like, holy crap, Doug.
Life changing.
Yeah,
I can imagine.
I can sense your energy even right now, reliving
Oh
this.
my God. It was October 27th, and my brain is still kind of spun out. I'm like, wow, yeah, I really just saw what I saw.
Yeah,
And,
just
like,
so everybody knows, this is fresh, like this year,
Yeah.
just last week.
Just happened.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. That's amazing.
And
So,
did,
yeah, my brain is still processing it and all the details and going over what I remember seeing.
yeah,
Because I went home and I shared it with some friends that are researchers, just to get like another set of eyes on what I had tried to document. And yeah, wow. They're
It's life
beautiful.
changing. I can't imagine.
What I saw
love your
was like
reaction.
really pretty. I mean, I didn't feel like I was in danger, but I didn't feel like I could move towards it. If I took a
Yeah.
step, I mean, I couldn't even take a step towards it if I wanted to, or yeah, towards them. So it was like, and then my friend Kevin was about a quarter mile back. And after I actually went up to the top of the ridge and started investigating, I started videoing, but I was so nervous. I mean, oh my God, I could barely pay attention to the ground. And, like, because I was listening for sounds, and I did hear like a branch snap probably 20 yards out in the brush, but it was amazing how quiet they were. I'm like used to wildlife. I can hear deer. I've heard bear crushing through the brush before, and I couldn't hear them. I couldn't hear where they went and if they were still close by. So I'm like, I'm on a super adrenaline rush. Like, oh my God. Trying to figure out where they are and if they left or if they're still like right, in the vicinity. So like when I did the first little video, I shared it with my friend Thomas Potter. And there was actually some popping sounds in the audio, which I didn't hear while I was investigating. So he ran that through a spectrograph, and there's a weird pop. Like, I don't know if that was a vocal sound that they make. We've talked about different theories.
Yeah, I'd love to get a copy of that pop and get it to David, and
Yeah.
David Ellis can probably see if he can match it up to his database, because he's got a huge, like 8,500 different recordings to
Wow.
match it.
That would be great.
Yeah. So, okay. So you saw two. Can you describe anything in the face? Because you're pretty close, 25 yards, right? So,
Feet. No, 25 feet, Doug.
Oh, 25
Wow.
feet.
Yeah, they were
Oh.
close. Really
Wow, that's
close.
Amazing.
So they were uphill, and there was some brush and trees in between me and them and my dog. So I didn't really see the lower half of their body, and I couldn't get a good gauge on how big they were initially.
Wow.
And then when Kevin finally, I called him and he caught up to me, I finally put him in the spot where they were. Yeah, that's the picture of
That's where you
Kevin.
saw him.
Yeah, this is where I was standing. They were right behind the tree branches at the top of this hill going up.
Wow.
They were at the top of the ridge and they went crossed over it. So I had Kevin stand, which you can barely see him in this picture with the little orange spot there. And their face was up in the opening where it's clear above the big branch there. Yeah, there's Kevin. And he's 5'10" and a half. And their face was up here in this open area.
Right, that bigger open area up there.
And they took up that whole space, almost like that whole where you can see the sky through the tree branches.
Yeah.
They filled up that whole space.
Wow.
So, like, after I had Kevin stand there, I'm like, oh my God.
So they're kind of backlit
Crazy.
a little bit by the sky because you're looking upwards. So you probably
Right.
didn't get a ton of facial details.
I did not.
They're backlit.
No.
Yeah, because it's backlit.
So we're about a half mile from the ocean. It's an hour before the sun goes down. And that picture was about 20 minutes after my sighting. So
Wow.
it wasn't dark yet, but it was like the sun would have been to the east or the west. And so it would have been hitting the side of the silhouette. And so the hair, I think, put a shadow across the face. But I could see like big eyes, but I couldn't see any white. And it was like there was no expression. I could see a wide nose and I could see thin line where the lips were. But I really couldn't see any good facial details. But the crazy thing, Doug, is that they were so human-like. It wasn't like I was looking at an ape or an animal. Like,
Right.
it was like I was looking at a human type. It was really, wow.
That's incredible.
Did the eyes
Yeah.
kind of look like they had like sunken eyes or sunglasses on? You know, those
They
dark,
were
just
big.
big dark.
Like big, round, almost, yeah, much
Dark.
bigger than ours.
Yeah.
I could see the eyes, but that was about, like I said, no detail. I didn't see ears. The hair came down around the sides of the face. Because when the first one came up in a profile, I thought I saw a ghillie suit, but I couldn't see any facial like outline. All I could see was the shape. So I think the hair kind of maybe drapes down the side of the face. I couldn't see. It was like there was nothing sticking out that showed a facial profile.
And you could see their
When
body
they first-
behind you. I'm sorry, Khym, but you could see their
Mhm.
body behind the branches also, right? Correct?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The shoulders, the arms. I could see
Yeah.
muscles through the openings there. So, like, I could see them. And when he started swaying, I could see quite a bit of detail in the shoulders and arm area, upper chest. So it wasn't like, it was pretty good lighting. So we could still see really good walking around and stuff.
Well, the movement is so important because otherwise you don't know if you're looking at a stump but when they're
Oh,
moving,
no.
that's a whole nother ballgame.
Yeah, they came right up into my view. It walked like it was walking over the ridge, like it didn't even know I was there. And then when it got in the center, it turned to the first one turned to face me and stood there and was like staring at us. And then when it started moving side to side, it really hit me like, oh my God, this isn't a person. This is a Sasquatch. And then I could see the hair. And the hair, I actually sent some pictures of Jeff to, I found some hair on Google. I remembered a show dog that had really long hair that was kind of similar. Do you want to pull those up, Jeff?
Yep.
The hair really stood out because the sun was hitting it just right. And it was a dark auburn color. It wasn't even the color that a ghillie suit would be.
Yeah.
And it was like really long, like the back of, like right there. It was very
Yeah.
similar in
Yeah.
color, texture, and length.
So kind of
Over the
a dark reddish brown.
Right. Yeah, an auburn shade.
Yeah.
So
Which is orangutan kind of colored
Right.
rings are. Gosh, it's
It's
just
really
such a
pretty, well groomed. It wasn't matted or
yeah.
clumpy at all. Like a ghillie suit's all matted and goes all
Yeah,
different
right.
directions intentionally. This was like somebody had groomed it, like it brushes its hair and then like where it was hanging off the arms was a little bit longer than the hair
Yeah.
coming down the shoulders. So
Yeah.
it was like swaying and flowing when it was moving.
Yeah,
So
because
pretty.
their hair seems to be really fine and wispy. It
Yeah.
doesn't take much air to make their hair move if they're clean. I mean, the two that I've seen both had really, really clean looking
Right.
bodies, like they were groomed big time. And once again, it's an interesting note that somebody had mentioned maybe some of them are groomed if they have a family group they're with, and they're cleaner and more groomed, right? And you saw two of them, so it would have had
possibly 3 with the noise. Yeah, there was definitely something off to the right that didn't come through where the other 2 had, and I think it turned around and just bailed off into the trees.
And
It
can
didn't
you
follow
go ahead?
the other.
Yeah, can you go ahead and just state again where it happened, what state, and for some people that have just joined?
Yeah, I'm in the Pacific Northwest. I live on the southwestern Oregon coast. I'm about 90 miles north of the California border.
Wow, beautiful place.
Yeah.
It's beautiful there.
Did your
I
friend
grew up there.
Did your friend Kevin, did he see anything that you didn't? Any details that he may have noticed that you didn't catch?
He did not see them. He
He
wasn't
didn't see
with
them at all.
me.
Okay.
No, he was actually in a different area about a
Wrong
quarter mile
place.
back. Yeah, with his dog, and I had taken off by myself up the side of this sand ridge. And so right after it happened, I called him and had him meet me. And then I started investigating where they had walked through to see if I could find tracks. And that was like really hard to do because I was super adrenaline rushed out, super nervous. I still don't know where they went exactly. I know they didn't go into the sand bowl in the open side. They actually went down the side of the slope about halfway down, turned, and then bailed back up into the forest once they were out of my line of sight. So Kevin was able to come to the scene, see my reaction, and then he saw some of the large imprints that night before we left. So there was like these giant big scuff marks in the sand going down the side of the bank.
I was going to mention.
When I went.
Yeah, I was going to mention because it is sandy there should have been some prints.
Oh, absolutely.
Here we go.
So I actually went back the next day to investigate more because it was starting to get dark. We didn't have flashlights. So we went back and left. And it's a day use only area. So you're supposed to leave before a certain hour or you get locked in. So I had to leave, and I spent the next 3 or 4 days going back to try to find, some good evidence, prints. So in this photo, this is one of the imprints I found. Yeah, go ahead and go back to that one, the other one where I have the tape measure. What I found really odd, because it's really super soft sand, is that there was a hole next to each imprint. And I'm looking at these going, is that a thumbprint? Like, did they go, I'm questioning the tracks because I was hoping to find feet print, but I didn't find big footprints. I found what resembles knuckles. Like they went down on all fours, skirted around the side of the sand dune, and then went back up the hill. So this measures.
Yeah, you're going to have to get. You're going to have to, sorry to interrupt, but you're going to want to get that photo to Cliff.
Okay.
Because Cliff has been really studying hand and knuckle and in soil in his neck of the woods. I think he'd be really interested in seeing this, especially coupled with your sighting, your 2 sightings.
Right on. I'd love to share that.
Yeah, I think you need to. Gosh, I mean, that's pretty clear.
So that's
See.
10 inches from the hole, and the main print, it's 10 inches across, where the ridges and the knuckle print part is about 7 inches wide.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
so I went back a day later. I didn't have any plaster or anything, and the ridges had sloughed off, so I didn't get a cast of that one. I did manage to get a cast of another set that was higher up on the bank. And when I was inspecting the prints, they're really odd shapes. So it was really hard to, so this cast I managed to get. And I believe it had its hand opened, because when I put my hand in the hole, it felt like natural, like it was a hand. So like a friend of mine I shared this with calls it a catcher's mitt. Okay. And like, so I casted, this was one of the better prints in the sand I was able to get. It is the back, the incline would be where the palm is.
Okay.
Squatch Mama. And where the knobs are, I think one side was the fingers and the far side would have been the thumb, but it had so much pine needles on the ground that when it pushed in, it made it look, made the opening bigger. So if there was no pine needles, it wouldn't have been as fat on that
Right.
far side of this picture, because the pine needles made the hole in the sand larger. So I think it was on its palms as it scurried across the side of the bank. So that's the only really good cast I got. I'm not great at cast. This is actually my first attempt to cast. So anybody out there that has any advice, I'd be happy to hear from other researchers. Yeah.
Yeah, sand's gotta be pretty tough. It's a tough place to cast.
Oh, super soft. Super. Yeah. I don't even know if I poured that one, if it would have maintained the shape. Another friend of mine said to maybe try hairspray or something to like get the sand more stable before you try casting.
Sure.
So, but I didn't get the opportunity to do that with the one with the ridges that looks like knuckles. So it was
after the sighting, did you guys just like hang out there for quite a while? And
I went back every day for about 4 days.
Oh,
so
okay.
The second day I took Kevin with me. I was a little bit nervous to go out there by myself. I'm pretty brave, but it was like, oh my God, I was still in this adrenaline rush mode.
Sure.
So he actually took audio equipment, stayed back and tried to record to see if he could catch any sounds that were, different. And I went by myself. We left the dogs at home or in the car. And I I walked around the entire perimeter of where the marks went, down the bank into the forest. I skirted around the forest side to try to find, bigger impressions that I might be able to cast. So I spent a good amount of time trying to research the site. I called a few friends, and like they're so far away. The people that actually do really good research that I know aren't local, or so I didn't have anybody to help me. So I think I did okay for my first attempt. So yeah.
No, that's really, really awesome. How long have you been researching the topic, Khym?
About 20 years, just on my own. Yeah.
I've never seen you on a podcast. Have you ever done
I did do one podcast, yes.
Okay.
I was on Beast TV episode 50, I think back in 2016, 17.
Oh, okay. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. So yeah, I really didn't know there was a big research community until about 2017. I went to my first convention in Bend, Oregon, Bigfoot and Brews. So I've been down here on the South Coast having these weird things happen off and on in my life. And I didn't really know there was people out there doing it. So yeah, I have a lot of stories from my area.
Well, feel free to relay. Do you have anything that's anything else you've experienced during that 20 years you want to share? Go ahead. We've got time.
Yeah, I leased a mining claim cabin back in the 90s. I had something hit the wall in the middle of the night, like a freight train. I was scared to death because I had my kids and my dog down there.
Okay, all right, back it up. Okay,
Yeah.
Because I've experienced that freight train hit, or it feels like a semi truck hit the wall. Can you get into detail on what happened?
Yeah. Back in the 90s, we found out there was some mining claims up in the mountains, and there was some cabins there. And I met the claim owners, so I decided to lease the cabin for a summer. Thought it'd be a fun thing to do with my kids. So we're way up in the national forest. You know, you drive a couple hours out there, and you park way up on the top of a ridge on a Forest Service road, and then you have to hike like 45 minutes down to the bottom of the trail because it's way down in a steep ravine. Like, I don't know if you've been in the coastal mountains, but we have really steep mountain ridges. So it's probably 800 to 1,000 feet from where your car is down to the creek bottom, right? So I was down in there with my kids, and I think it was like the second day, like we'd been playing, exploring, you know, was just having a great time. And that night we got in late. I remember cooking dinner, and it was probably close to 11 midnight, 1 o'clock. I don't remember. I finally got the kids to bed. I had a wooden cook stove, no lights. We had a kerosene lantern and my dog. And I remember just as I shut the lantern off, something hit the side of the cabin like a freight train, just bam. And I'm like standing there in the dark, freaking out. I did have a little firearm on me, a little 5-shot Ruger. And I'm like, what the hell was that? And I'm just standing there in the dark, listening. And then it hits the wall again. Bam, bam, bam. And so I spent the rest of that night standing in the middle of that room, guarding my kids. And my dog actually was cowering on the floor behind my leg. And I could hear that something was outside walking around the cabin. And at one point it came to the front door and hit the front door, but it didn't bust through. So it was like, I have no idea what that was. And at that time, I didn't even believe in Bigfoot. I didn't even, it wasn't even in my mind. So that story I told on Beast TV on my first podcast.
Well, try to explain the power that you felt, Khym. The power
it shook the building. I mean, it was a solid log building. The logs were probably 10 to 12-inch logs stacked, but it was an 1800s building. And like the window in the living area had those little square panes that were like antique wooden window framed panes. The windows were rattling. It shook the wall. I could feel it through the floor. And it was just incredibly strong. It was like, there's no way a human could have hit that wall and made that building move the way it did.
Yeah. I don't know if you heard my story ever where I was sharing a bed with my young daughter, and we were up on an expedition because she had never gone on any of these Bigfoot things in a really solid cabin, but it was 11-mile single track trail to get there to this cabin on the way up by the Canadian border. And we heard a scream while we were unloading our truck, and that really freaked her out. And she made me take like rugs and things and duct tape them up over the window because she was freaked out already. We'd only been there 5 minutes. She's already scared. And during the night, it came up. It must have been a Bigfoot. It came up and opened and closed the recycling bin like 10 times. then the other recycling bin for pop cans on the porch. And then it went out to the truck, played with the Velcro, and it would repeat this over and over. And I'm looking at my 30-30 on the side of the bed, which isn't loaded. And it's kind of freaky.
Right.
Because I got my daughter with
Oh,
me.
yeah.
And I'm a little more more about protecting her. And
Yeah. That's all I
then
could think about was protecting my kids.
But little did I know, she was awake. And the whole cabin got hit, that wall, so hard it was like a semi-truck drove into it. Boom! And the bed flew away from the wall that got hit. And it pushed the bed out about a foot. And she sat up and she swore. I never heard her swear ever. She was like 9 and she goes, "What the F?" And so that was her first expedition. She's never doing another one. That was enough for her to feel that
poor girl.
power. But, so when you said it felt
Fortunately, my kids.
No, I was just going to say, Khym, you mentioned a freight train hit the side, and that's exactly how I would describe the feeling that I had in that cabin. It's crazy. Like, oh my, how could anything do that? And so people think,
fortunately, Doug, my kids were sound asleep, and I was really concerned about them not being scared too, and getting them out there safely.
Yeah,
I didn't want them traumatized. They don't remember a thing because they've been playing so hard. They were just, as soon as they hit that bed, they were out like a rock. So the kids didn't actually experience that.
Which is kind of scary for you in a lot of ways because you're alone, basically. You're just you. And
my car is an hour and a half up the hill in the dark through a forest, through an old growth forest. And so I stayed up the remainder of the night with my gun in my hand, listening for every little sound, following it, pointing my gun at the sounds inside of that building until daylight broke. I packed my kids and threw our shit in the backpack, and we got out of there. And the crazy thing is, I had paid them for a private lease for the summer. I didn't even tell the claim owners what happened. And I didn't go back, and I didn't ask for a refund. I was like, okay, we're out. We're done.
What kind of minerals were you looking for?
Gold. It's a gold mining claim.
Oh, it's a gold mining. Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's a mining district. So, yeah. And then shortly after that happened, my brain was curious. I'd heard several stories growing up from various people here and there, but I never gave it any weight. I had a story that my uncle told from back in the 30s and 40s where he actually did see one. He would take lumber from Bandon to Marshfield in an old flatbed truck when they still had a ferry. So he had to drive the back highway, which was a gravel road, to Marshfield. And he told my grandma that one had stepped out of the forest in front of his truck, turned and screamed at him through the windshield. Now, my uncle was like super tough lumberjack, could wrestle a grizzly bear, no problem, and win probably type person. So like he told that story to my grandma one time, I think it was 1975, and then never talked about it ever again. Wow. So I had this story in the back of my head that I didn't want to believe. I'm like, what are you talking about, Uncle? There's no monsters in the woods. So I really didn't think about it much until after I started having my own experiences in the 90s.
Wow. Do you think it had something to do with the children in the cabin when that thing smacked the cabin? Because once again, I had my daughter with me.
No, I don't. I think what I learned later over the last 20 years now is this area has actually been inhabited by these whatever you want to call them for like 100 years or more. There was 1800 stories of miners actually being killed up there. And I had the pleasure of meeting Bobo Rowdy Kelly from the Bluff Creek Project, and some different people have came to visit my area. And Mark Marcel actually talks about Thompson Flat. Well, I had leased the cabin right below Thompson Flat, which was Bear Pan Flat. And then later I learned about the mining incidents from the 1800s.
Crazy.
So that was like,
I would imagine, Khym, you've had many stories though in 20 years to relay of little things.
Yeah.
What's your next one? Rockin Randy just popped in our back room, so we're going to bring him on in a bit. Yeah. And so go ahead and tell us one more before we bring Randy on.
Yeah. Let me see, which one do I want to talk about?
Oh, gee. I love it. Which one?
We hiked down to the upper part of this river system, and we went in late at night. It was like the weekend. We wanted to do something for the weekend. Threw our stuff in the car. Went in late, so we got to the top of the ridge right before dark. We had just enough time to like get down this trail to the bottom before dark hit, right? And like soon as we got down there, we got our tent set up. We made a quick dinner. I mean, it was getting really dark because you're like way down in this real steep ravine in a river system. It's like Jurassic Park down there, by the way. And right as we were getting ready to climb in the tent, there was this vocalization just down on the creek bed just below us that was so intense, so loud, it shook your entire body. Your lungs vibrated. It lasted for like 6 or 8. Like, it was this, I wish I could have recorded it. So one of my goals is try to get this recording because I heard this scream. It's such a huge sound duration that it literally shook your entire body. And I'm like, I've heard elk, I've heard mountain lion, I've heard all your standard, just like other people say, you know, I know what lives in our forest. This was nothing like anything I know. So, and that was down in close to the area where the cabin incident happened. So I've been going back out there, researching, looking for evidence. You know, we did have rocks thrown at us at another site, different trip. Another spot. I actually have about a 50 square mile radius that I've been researching from here south and then east. So it's like I have different locations where I've ran across things, tree structures. I have one spot I call the Great Wall of China because it's like these structures that were interwoven. It's like they were making a barricade across the side of this flat. And every year that I went back, it would be added on to. So I haven't been there in several years now, but I do want to go back and check that because interesting stuff has been happening over there.
Well, I have to say, you are definitely, as others have said, you're legit. I mean, you really do put a lot of work in. It's really great. And so why don't you, if you want to just go ahead and stick around, Khym, you don't have to leave.
Okay.
You can stick around.
Absolutely.
So let's go ahead and, if you have other thing you want to share, I mean, just chime in whenever. You and Randy can talk and me and Jeff can go home. So Rockin Randy Stewart.
Feel better.
Yeah. So Rockin Randy Stewart, he was a pro wrestler. He's now vice president of NexStar Records. He's a comedian, magician, singer, radio station owner of WROK Radio FM in Las Vegas. He's the owner of Channel 12 TV network that many of you know. He's a competitor of mine. He's the best kind I could have because we like each other. He's an evangelist, preacher, a TV host, a producer, and a Bigfoot witness. Let's welcome the one-of-a-kind man, none other than Rockin Randy Stewart.
Welcome, Randy.
Finally, the Rock has come back.
Yes. Anyhow.
What's going on?
Straight up,
Doug? Long time
Sasquatch
no see,
rocks.
brother.
Yeah.
I
So
was
let's
I was the original rock.
yeah. Well, let's have some fun. But before we get
Sasquatch
into
rocks.
a bunch of
There you
fun
go.
stuff, Randy, can you tell us about your encounter? Because I've never heard it.
You know, I'm 63 years old, still look good.
Oh, extremely.
Extremely. Ask me. I'll
Handsome,
tell you.
very handsome.
I've got one of those circus mirrors in my bedroom. You know, it makes me look good every day. You know, when I was 5 years old, I had my very first encounter of Bigfoot. I went to my family used to go. My dad's from Tennessee, and we would go down every summer. You know, spend summertime down there, and in the heat and the nasty and all that other good stuff. And the very first time I saw Bigfoot, my grandfather was actually out in the field across the road with a mule. And my thing was ride the mule back to the barn. Like, you know, I'm 5 years old. I'm like the Lone Ranger, you know. So it started, heat lightning started coming and going. So my grandfather says, you can't ride the mule. Hot animals get struck by lightning, you'll get killed. So I'm like, oh, come on. So we're walking, and the mule's in front of us, and we're walking behind it. And the lightning, you know, does one of those strobe lights. And this thing lets out a yell. Now, you got to remember something. Remember how the old barns that had the doors that opened up, you know, like that? It had a hold of the barn doors shaking the top of the barn.
Wow.
And my grandfather goes, we have to go now. And he grabs me by the hand, and it was like a cartoon. I'll never forget this. He's running across that field, and my toes are touching the dirt. That's all I got is toes touching the dirt. And we run across the dirt road into the yard, get in the house, and my grandfather says, the hairy man's outside. And he's coming. Well, my uncles and my grandfather, my dad, and they grabbed the shotguns off the walls. And you remember this house was like tin roof, aluminum siding, you know, a square with a room in each square of the house, you know. And the old front doors had this screen that had the wood around it, and then it had that little piece of wire that ran from corner to corner. Well, we get in the house, and they grab the guns off the roof, and Bigfoot rips the door off the hinges. Shoo! And my grandfather with a 12-gauge Stevens shotgun, and my uncles, boom, 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 boom. All I could see was his nipples down. Okay? I see him get shot in the chest. The lightning's flashing, and he falls. You know, the porch is down there. They're off the ground about a foot. It falls back as the lightning goes, so it looks like he's doing it slow motion. They grab the flashlights, they run outside, and there's no Bigfoot. No hairy man. Nothing. No blood, no nothing. Wow. And as a kid, I'm thinking, a bunch of bad shots. You know, I mean, there was no yeah. So about a week later, I'm in the bedroom, and we slept on those big feather beds, you know, the ones that you got to get a ladder to get into when you're a kid. The mattress is like 3 foot, you know, wide, tall, and the windows are really low. And it was the house, the driveway, all the wood, because my grandmother had one of those old stoves, our cast iron stoves. You actually had to feed wood to it to cook on it. And they still had the pump in the sink, you know, the whole bit. Okay. Anyways, so that night I smelled like trash. I'm thinking, did my brother just shit the bed? This stinks.
You mean he crapped the bed?
Okay, we'll say crap. Anyways. So I'm smelling this. I'm like, it ain't coming from him. And my sister's in the other bed. So I jump out of bed because I hear, whoa. Whoa. I'm like, what the hell is that? So I look out the window, and on the other side of the wood pile, there's a persimmon tree. And there stood Bigfoot. Now, to me, he looks like a big monkey. I didn't know what a Bigfoot was. I didn't know what a hairy man was, except for the one that got shot. And I never seen his face. And he sat there eating the persimmons, and I don't know if I went or something, he heard me, but he turned around. His eyes, when you're a kid, everything's really big. So his eyes look like reflectors on my bicycle. And he looked at me, and I looked at him, and he said, wood, bad. Snakes, bad. Wood, bad. Snake, bad. And I'm like, wood's bad, snake's bad. Well, my mother comes in and she goes, what are you doing out of bed? I'm like, I was talking to the bear or the monkey out there. I need to get back in bed. You know, no one wants to believe you. So I get up the next morning. I tell my grandfather, and he goes, you were just dreaming. You know, I said, well, it was a big dream. I go outside. My brother and I are playing ball, and the ball goes by the wood. I reach over to get the ball, and I get bit in the top of the hand by a rattlesnake. So Bigfoot was telling me that the wood was bad and snakes are bad. So that was my first really encounter with Bigfoot, and I had several encounters after that with a big guy.
So you heard English being taught?
Yes.
Wow.
Not through his mouth. It was like...
Oh, in your head.
Yeah, it was like in my head. He kept saying, wood, bad, snake, bad, wood, bad, snake, bad. Almost like you'd see like in an old Indian cowboy movie, you know? Sunrise 3 times the moon, you know? And I told my mother, and they said, okay, whatever, you know. Well, shortly after that, we did not stay there anymore at nighttime. We go stay in a hotel up the road by Loretta Lynn's. And I always kept wondering, what was that? Because during the daytime, I would hear it yell. And at night, we were in the house before we go to the hotel, you would hear this screaming. It sounded like a woman screaming. And my grandfather would say, oh, that's a black panther that escaped from the zoo. And I'm like, oh, okay. You know, as a kid, you know what? Well, when I got about 8th grade, I went down there and I spent a lot of time with my grandfather before he passed away. And I asked him, I said, I hear that yelling. That panther still must be alive out there. He goes, that ain't a panther. I said, I know what that is, but are you going to tell me the truth? He goes, yes, the hairy man screaming out there. And the hairy man screamed all the time. And my grandmother, while we were there, if we stayed the night or if we were just there at nighttime, she would actually take the head of a chicken, she'd break its neck and put it on the well. And that was like an offering for watching over us kids, I guess, during the daytime. And it was kind of weird. So when I got older, I asked my grandfather, you know, about the Bigfoot, and you know, he told me the stories of how Bigfoot was like the watcher of the woods. He'd watch over his kids. Never would hurt us, but my grandmother never wanted to take a chance because some people that did come up missing over the years, they were cooking one night and they had a chicken in the sink, and where the window was over the sink, the hairy man stuck his hand in the window and took the chicken out of the sink. So that, you know.
That's crazy.
And my grandfather used to go to the dump all the time. He would get old bicycles and stuff and fix them up and sell them to the poor kids in town for 50 cents, whatever, you know. And he says, you got to charge them something. But I always asked him, I says, why do you take that chicken with you? And he says, to keep the bear.
Uh-oh.
Locked up.
Yeah. He's locked.
Uh-oh.
Pretty amazing story so far.
I always worry if you lock, you're not in this position, right? Randy,
really interesting.
Just jet out and jet back in if you can hear us.
I'll send him a little text here to see what.
Should we all pretend like we're locked, Jeff? Let's pretend. Yeah. Take the position. Just joking. Okay. Khym,
wow.
you have the floor. Tell us, do you have another story you want to tell until we get Randy back?
Yeah.
We're going to change his name to Lockin Randy, not Rock.
Lockin Randy?
Lockin Randy.
Yeah, this is Sasquatch Rocks. He's Rockin Randy.
So go ahead.
This is actually my little business I'm starting.
Oh, cool.
I was going to do an online. Rocks.
Oh, Sasquatch Rocks. Oh, cool.
Sasquatch Rocks. Adventure awaits. So I actually do knitted hats and gloves and stuff.
Oh,
so I have this
cool.
little logo, and I'm going to be selling to help fund my expeditions. I'm going to self-promote here really quick.
Oh,
I
good,
have my
please.
label Sasquatch Rocks, and I
Oh,
do knitted hats and gloves and stuff. So if
cool.
anybody's interested in some Sasquatch gear to stay warm when you're out there researching,
Well, good. That's
but
really
it gets
cool.
really cold
Love
at
it.
night. So
How much does a hat cost? What do you charge?
anywhere from $36 to $50. It's
Cool.
really high grade merino wool. So
Yeah.
you can hand wash it. It stays warm when it's wet. So it's really high quality. Yeah. There you
Jeff, can you text Locke and Randy? And
I did. He
Tell
hasn't
him just-
responded yet. I just told him to reset.
maybe he really locked up. What if is it possible he went into that Matrix position where his whole universe is, all of Las Vegas right now is locked up. Nobody's moving.
Uh-oh.
Everybody's just frozen in Las Vegas.
Could be.
They're frozen in the
He
Matrix.
hasn't responded yet.
Yeah, he's in the Matrix. I'll tell you, if it's
Wow.
going to happen,
He had a
it'll
great
happen
story. That was
there. It was, yeah,
really interesting to listen to, Doug.
I would say a 10 out of 10. That's crazy. Anyhow, he'll be back. So what other things have you experienced out in the field, Khym?
Well,
You
I
said
think
you
I
had
had a
rocks?
couple of years. Yeah.
Let's hear the rock
think-
story.
Okay, so the rock story, we had hiked in the back way or away from the main camping areas up on the side of this ridge up in the mountains, and there's a lake hidden in the forest. So we actually GPSed it, found the lake, hiked in, and we didn't go in the main road. So we decided we're going to camp out there along the side of a reprod, which is a logging cut. And then the lake is in the forest, probably a football field away. So right at dark, we heard these weird vocalizations that sounded like owls. And then it turned into this weird, it sounded like a pack of coyotes running towards us in the woods. And then those turned into these whooping, great ape sounds. And they were rushing through the trees at our campsite in the dark.
Wow.
So right as that happened, we were expecting them to break through the tree line to where you could see them still, because we're out in the open where you could still barely, it was that twilight zone where you could still see around you but not under the trees, right? And they turned, went up across the spring cut, up a ridge line, and started throwing rocks back at our campsite. So we had rocks landing on the ground about 10 feet away from us that night. And I think there was at least two of them, because we had hiked through this terrain earlier when it was still daylight, and it was really rough terrain. You had to climb over logs, through ferns. It wasn't like you could just run through there easily. So whatever came through there like it was nothing. It just came at us so quickly through that really rough, rugged understory.
Yeah.
And then it was oh my God, what is that? What is that?
So did you,
yeah.
Randy, you, as you know, you locked up, I would imagine.
Hey, Randy.
I would imagine you've rebooted or something happened as usual in these live streams. Can you hear me,
I had to
Randy?
reboot.
Yeah.
I
I
can hear
did
you.
too
Can you hear
once
me?
today. Yeah. You sound good and you're looking good. So
Thank you very much.
one question I had is, where did all of this activity take place? What state? What county?
It happened in Waverly, Tennessee, right outside of John Highway 13.
Okay.
Off of 7013. Waverly's a little town with one red light. My grandfather was one of the first settlers there. So
Right.
it's a little bitty town. It's it's small. It's right outside of Dixon, Johnsonville, in that area, by Clarksville, and and Waverly. To the last time I saw Bigfoot was in 2016 there. I kept saying to my cousins, it's so dark out here you can't see your hand. And I was staying at their house. And I bought one of those sensor lights, for solar lights, because I couldn't see the house at night when I pulled in the driveway. I would turn my phone on to find my way to the front door. So we were there one night, and last time I saw one was 2016 in November. We had killed 2 deer, and they hung them on a pole, like a football type of field goal pole, had them hanging there, and went in the house to change clothes. But before this, I went ahead of the story. I asked him, you guys seen?
Oh no!
The hairy man, my one of light, they'll follow you. So my other cousin goes, I've been hunting here for 40 years. I ain't never seen a Bigfoot in my life. Blah, blah, blah. Well, during this week, we're outside smoking a cigarette, and he's playing those calls, from animals wounded, deer and rabbits and stuff. Well, the night we come home with a deer and we hang them up there, getting to what you guys were saying earlier when I was listening, we're getting changed, and I'm looking out my window, which I can see out that window where it's black. The light comes on. Boom! Like a train hit the house twice. Boom, boom. The knickknacks and stuff on the walls and stuff that was on the sink all fell off. That's how hard he hit that house. The light must have stunned him, scared him. We ran out with guns because we thought someone was doing a home invasion. And we got out there, and he had one deer and the other deer underneath his arms. He walked behind the old barn shed, and you know how tall the bed of the roof of a 76 Chevy pickup truck is, or really high. He was 3 foot taller than the roof of that truck.
Wow.
He's got 2 deer.
That's what my uncle was saying.
He walks down this little gully, like a little water, and he starts to go up this hill. And this hill's like this. A billy goat can only climb it. I can't. He walks up, and they unloaded. They shot him with everything they had. Boom, 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 because he's got their deer. And no blood again.
Right.
The only thing we saw was the leaves that had been pushed down, where they've been moved. The neighbor come over the next morning. He goes, what in the world you all shooting up here? Sounding like a war. Well, we told him what I just told you, and he said something tried to get into his dog pen. When his light came on, it slapped his house. Now, we're only talking 25 yards apiece. So I told him what happened. That afternoon, to your story, Khym, I pulled in the driveway. It's like one of those candy cane driveways you pull in. As I pull in where he went up the hill, I'm like, and I look up, I go, what the hell's hunting up there? I look like a guy in a ghillie suit. Exactly what you said. And I'm like,
right.
And on the hill, he was big. So I get out of my car, and I just turned to reach inside my phone cup holder to get my phone because I'm taking some video. And I reached, and I turned, he's gone. I didn't hear him leave. I didn't hear the leaves rustle, nothing. My cousin pulls in behind me. My cousin pulls in behind me with his pickup truck as I'm getting ready to film, and he goes, this yell. It felt like it was in that yell. It was standing on my chest. He yelled so loud, and my cousin goes, "What was?" I said, "There was a guy in a ghillie suit, but I don't think there was a ghillie suit." I said, "I thought one of you guys were hunting," and he goes back to us, "Woo woo!" Again, it yells. I said, "Look at the time. I'm leaving because you all shot him last night. He's coming back for us." I got my car backed out, went to my other cousin's house. I said, "You know something? I'm going back to Las Vegas because I know Bigfoot tracks you. He will follow you to your home. He will hunt you down. You'll get people. Now it's only 2 miles between each cousin's house. Viva Las Vegas with all of us I will go. And I did. That was the last time I saw Bigfoot.
Wow.
But I've seen him several times over the years.
Well, this changed your life, obviously, because you got into this, Bigfoot. You started producing podcasts and the Channel 12 stuff. Do you want to kind of explain how having these experiences changed your life, Randy?
Well, you may say I'm nuts when I get done saying this to you.
Well, yeah, I'm sure we're all going to think that anyhow.
Yeah, of course. But
We're all a little bit nuts, Randy.
Oh, yeah, we're all nuts.
In 2016, when I was in Florida, I was on syndicated Bigfoot radio. And I said, I'm going to tell my story. And I told my story. And then, of course, I left Florida and I went to Tennessee. Why, I don't know. But anyways, I did. But after that, as a child, I could see things that other people didn't see. And I swear, because Bigfoot talked to me, he opened up a gateway to things that seeing dead people, hearing dead people, I was in New York on a farm. My aunt had a 100-acre farm. I could feel him out there. I couldn't smell him, but I could feel him there. I played box lacrosse with the Indians on the Onondaga Reservation, and they had a Bigfoot third pole down on the totem pole. And I said, "What's up with usually it's like crows and hawks. I said, what's up with a monkey-looking guy?" And he said they called it the hairy man also, but they called it something else. And I explained to him what I had seen over the years. And I says, and I still see them. I still smell them. And he goes, when he talked to you, you became a medium between them and yourself and all the other cryptids.
Interesting.
And I'm only saying this because, Brian Sawyer, who is a friend of mine, he's one of my NCI. He does Bigfoots of Michigan and Bigfoots of America. After Bigfoot talked to him, things like that, he started seeing fairies, all kinds of weird things happen. Fairies would fly in his house, look him in the face, and he started having paranormal experiences also. And it's kind of weird. Like I said, people think you're nuts, but my grandmother, I was the only child she really talked to because she seen Bigfoot. She knew what the hairy man was. So she knew I was special, and I guess it's what you get when you get to see a Bigfoot or he talks to you. You get that inner cryptic. So all these years I've been always looking at the Bigfoot. I was always studying, trying to find out everything I could find out about him. I knew I wasn't afraid of him. If I could see him again, I'd stand right there in the woods with him. I'm not going to run because he can catch me. He can kill me at any given time. Okay, hey, handsome, let's talk. I'm going to give it one of those. Let's talk, handsome. But I started doing radio and stuff, and then I found out there's more and more people out there seeing Bigfoot, and more people were coming out.
Right.
I said, something. I do my radio show, and then I said I want to do a TV show. I opened up Channel 12 TV network. We've been going gangbusters ever since, and the men I have on the NCI team are probably the greatest guys I've ever met in my life. I mean, our motto is if we don't see it, you don't see it, we don't fake it. These guys are really good at what they do. And when we do our show, you've been on the show with me before. We call it like it is. If it looks AI, we call it AI. But I think more and more people really need to know that these things really do exist. And now here lately, the Dogman's popped up and werewolves have popped up. And, it says in the Bible, the monsters will come from the woods, for the great fight. And it's getting to be that time. And my team just got back from the LBL making a movie with Greg Ogles. It's a 2-hour special. Tracy Jones was down there. She ran across some really crazy stuff, came across an old crime that happened, and just, you know, that place is very dangerous. I tell people not to go there. But I love talking about Bigfoot. I love talking about the dog man. And I'm really thank you for having me on your show. You know, I really appreciate this. And if anybody ever wants to call and just talk about Bigfoot, I'm open. You know, my number's an open book.
Well, you're not shy about it. That's for dang sure.
Well, you know what it is? People see Bigfoot, and sometimes it scars their minds.
Yeah.
You know, they're what was it I saw? They can't believe, they can't put it together. You know,
I want to know what they are.
It's like going to war. It's a big. I believe it's from the Nubia stuff, you know, and the giants. That's what I truly believe it is. I know Bigfoot has powers. I've gotten video where Bigfoot shimmered. I'm a member of Skinwalker Ranch. I watched their cameras at night. I've seen Bigfoot go past the house with no windows on the camera. And when he gets past the house, I've seen him turn into a shimmering like they did on Predator. I've seen him shimmer.
Oh.
Wow.
I've seen portholes there.
Predator. That one. Predator. That's interesting. I've heard other people say that, the shimmer, and they blink out.
Yep.
I've never seen that myself, but I've heard other people talk about it. Just like in the Predator movie.
Yes. And you know how people say Bigfoot walks through a field and all of a sudden the footprints disappear?
Right. You know, that one.
Well, I've come to the conclusion that he's going through a portal. He's either a portal opens up and he goes in, because I've gotten so many people tell me, even in Tennessee where I saw Bigfoot, beach ball size orb, and as it got smaller to a lightning bug, it went pink, and here stands an 8-10 foot Bigfoot. You know, so
my neighbor has a story, Randy. My neighbor has a story that was published online where there's a photograph of a being walking out of a light bulb. Now, I really didn't know my neighbor when I found the article online, but I'll try to find that and send it to you. It's actually a photograph where he was elk hunting. He saw this orb, snapped a picture, and there was a human-like being walking out of it.
Yes.
It's like really cool.
I just did a show 2 weeks ago with a lady who's disabled. And she's got a camera in her bedroom because, you know, in case someone breaks into her house, whatever. And I mean, I got some cool pictures, but she got a portal that opened up in her dresser. And there's a dragon's head coming out of the dresser. It looked like the dragon. It looked like the dragon from the Ring movie, you know. I mean, here's a dragon's head, and then she goes, "Honey, don't wait." She goes, "I want to show you something else." And she just sent me a picture today, a better picture of it. She cleaned it up. It's a portal. One opened here and one opened here. Bigfoot walked out of this one and went right into that one. Whoop, whoop. And she's got it on.
Interesting.
She's got pictures of it. It's on film. And my guys are like, "Oh, we don't believe in portals." Now they do. You know, she's had aliens in her house, and you know, picture little green guys looking around the doorway at her. And this is just off a phone camera, so I know she's not doctoring them up. But yeah, portals are real. I think that's what Bigfoot's doing. Or, as the Indians say, when he walks so far, he can change, you know, into a bird, into whatever he wants. You know, that's his ability. And if you think about this, and I'm going to tell you guys, and you can think about this, Doug. In North Carolina, South Carolina, nothing but jewels, minerals, and rocks, right? Opals, glass, you name it, they got it. Gold, silver. They lay in these mines and they drink that water. It's full of what's the rocks that we always find gold? I'm getting the mind fart. Anyway, the rock that puts off energy. If they're drinking this water and they're sleeping in these mines, What's to say they don't have these abilities? Quartz. What's to say they don't have these abilities? Because we've got hair that goes red, black, translucent, red, black, translucent. So if he's got translucent, can he shake that hair and turn himself like invisible?
Hey, Jeff, can you play that disclaimer right now?
Did I say a bad word or something?
No. I'm just goofing off. We have a disclaimer. Go ahead and play it. No. Stop. Play the disclaimer, Jeff.
All right,
so
hold on.
He knows what we're talking about.
There we go.
I have one like that, but mine plays at the beginning of the show.
Disclaimed.
We are now disclaimed.
Personally, I've never had the supernatural and the Bigfoot together in one experience. Until then, I'm going to keep them separate.
I just have an open mind. I'm just listening. I'm here to listen.
Yeah.
Me too. I'm going to share this with you.
Yes, please.
Not many people know this, and this just happened to me recently.
Okay.
I work with Tracy Jones, my paranormal white witch, and she was born a witch. And she's always teaching me more and more a little about my powers that I have, and things I see and things I hear. But I'm a dream walker. I dream at night. I walk and I see disasters that happen. I also dream and go back into the future. I wake up soaking wet and my feet are dirty. I ain't left my bed, but my soul does. And why it gets dirty feet, I wish it would clean for me.
All right, okay, let me interrupt you real quick. Now, this has happened to me one time. I woke up and there was grass and rocks and sticks at the bottom of my bed.
Wow.
And it's only happened once. And I'm like, and a sliver in my foot. And I'm like, what? It was totally.
Wow.
I forgot that even happened until you mentioned that. But what is that, Randy?
You walked. That's where your body leaves. Your soul leaves your body and goes to different places. So you probably have a guardian that takes, watches over you. My guardian's a female. I don't know who she is. I've gone back into time before. I've lived many lives. And believe me, I'm not nuts. My mother had me tested twice. But I actually had a dream, and I haven't shared this with anybody except for
Randy, first off, personally, I don't think you're nuts. I think you're one of the rare people that I meet that has no filter. Whatever's real, whatever he believes is real, it's what you're going to hear. He's not filtering anything.
No,
right?
And you're right. I had this dream where I went to the Aztecs, all these pyramids, where all these pyramids are, in that town in North Carolina, South Carolina, where everybody disappeared. Now check this out. When I'm in the Aztec pyramids, I saw people being sacrificed or heads being cut off. In this dream, I watched the aliens pick these people up and drink their blood. I'm standing right there watching this.
Ooh.
I can see these people screaming. I can hear the blood hit the ground. When all the sacrifices were done, the spaceship went zoop. Everybody was gone. I thought the rapture came and I was left. Like, whoa, what happened here?
Wow.
God take everybody forgot me. I've been to 5 different places and all 5 times. But the other night when I had the dream, the dog man, the werewolf, and the Bigfoot are the people that the aliens brought back and put back on Earth.
Oh.
This is probably your people are going, this guy's nuts.
That's why I disclaimed you.
No.
Yeah. No, but really,
No, I can say I have had weird experiences outside of Bigfoot, but I've never been able to put the two together. So I actually have a game cam footage of some flying creature that looks like a medieval dragon wyvern thing that was in my yard one time. So I know there's weird things that happen, and I know people that have claimed to been abducted. I've never been abducted myself, but I have seen this really weird orb thing in my house once. But I never was able to put the two and two together. So it's interesting, though, to listen to people's stories.
Yeah, you know, buddy. Don't try to put it together. Just take it for what it's worth.
Right.
Because I thought I was going nuts. I'm like, did I see that or didn't I see that? I was at my aunt's house.
Right.
I look out the window and I see dead people all playing in the garden. I'm like, what the hell is this?
Oh, wow.
You know? But it's not for us. Everything happens for a reason. We dream these dreams. Doug, if you came back with dirty feet, rocks and sticks, you took a walk somewhere and you brought them back.
One time. That was very weird.
Everybody has Jedi powers. They just don't know how to use them. And I say that because it's the only way people understand what we're talking about. You know, the Force is with you. You can do things. You know, I do magic, and I can make things move across the table, make tricks do themselves. And I stopped doing magic because it got to the point where it was doing itself. And I got an article in this month's issue of Strange Knocks magazine. I got 2 articles in here, Channel 12 all over the magazine, by the way. Get your copies today. Where it doesn't take a giant to kill a demon. And the demons are out there, and not everything's a demon either. Ghosts are out there. Tim Dills, who did not believe in spirits and ghosts, he went to the LBL. He's come back a believer because he saw what happened. They saw stuff. They got sick. You know, don't ever question yourself. Just say, okay, I'll get an answer for it the next time.
Well, what's the weirdest thing that's ever happened to you, Randy? The weirdest
thing that's ever happened to me?
Maybe even a story you haven't even told anybody before.
The weirdest thing that ever happened to me was I was 23 years old, and I got arrested in Chicago, Illinois, and they were going to extradite me back to New York. And that's some bull crap that my ex-wife said. Well, anyways, and I took a slip and fall in the jail cell. And because I figured I'll go to the hospital instead of getting locked up, I hit my head on the jail cell. I woke up in the hospital with both hands cuffed to the bed and my feet like Jesus. I mean, I was cuffed to the bed. And I was in the hospital, and there was a guard sitting there. And every time I would move, he would say, "What do you want? What are you doing?" A nurse come in, "What are you giving him?" And I just kept praying and praying and praying. And the guard fell asleep, and this little old woman came in. She opened up the curtain. She came in. She goes, "Hi, how are you?" And I said, "I'm doing good." I said, "Do better if I wasn't chained to the bed." And I says, "Who are you?" And she said, "My name is Rose." I said, "Hi, Rose." She says, "Let's you and I pray. But before we pray, can I have the food on your tray?" I said, "Yeah, take it all. I'm not going to eat it. I can't. I'm handcuffed." So Rose takes my food and she puts it in this bag, and her and I prayed. And she gave me a little book of Apostle John's stories from the Bible. And once we prayed, my hand was no longer in the handcuff. I was free of that one hand. The handcuff was off. We got done praying. I said, "Let my mom and dad, everybody know where I'm at." She goes, "They already know." She goes, "I'll see you soon." She walks through the curtain, and the nurse passes her. They would have had to hit each other. And the nurse comes in as this woman's going out, and the guard wakes up and goes, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" She goes, "I get his food tray." And he goes, "How did he eat all that food?" I go, "I didn't. I gave it to that woman you passed when you came to the curtain." "How'd you get out of that handcuff?" I said, "She undone it for me." And he said, "Don't be lying to me." And he hooked me up, of course. But the nurse never saw the woman. The guard never heard her. That would be the strangest thing that's ever happened to me.
And why do you think that's so strange, though? I mean,
Well, I mean, I was handcuffed to this bed, and no one saw her but me. And she just it was like she went like this and just took it off.
Okay.
And it was like no effort. And I said, "Okay, was that a guardian angel? Was it a ghost?" The woman, I mean, they passed each other. When she went out, the nurse came in at the same time. And to me today, that still freaks me out.
Do you experience a lot of coincidences, and have you in your life?
No, everything I experience has been like real. I've had ghosts slap me. I had my wife, actually, she's here. She'll tell you the story. I'm an evangelist preacher, and I tell the story in church that my 110-pound wife, as soon as I got my evangelistic license, she goes, "You have no soul." I said, "Excuse me?" She goes, "Your eyes are black. You have no soul." Well, you need to take a walk, lady. She said something that night and it just really irked me. I chased her down the hallway. I mean, literally chased her. She went to bed, shut the door. I opened up the door and she took her little hand and she grabbed my forehead and she starts rebuking. I take the same, she's 110 pounds soaking wet. I'm 300 pounds and she's got me going to the floor. I've got both hands trying to pull that little claw off my head and she's still rebuking. I'm on my hands and knees, brother. Let me tell you what. I was dry heaving so bad. When I finally threw up, it was a black mass of whatever, stunk like garbage. I won't say the S word. Stunk like garbage. My body felt like it was weightless. I could fly. I wept for weeks.
Wow.
Because she pulled that demon spirit, whatever it was inside me. I couldn't watch Bambi. I couldn't watch TV without crying. I sing all the time. I sing gospel music. I couldn't sing a gospel song without crying. And it was, everything I've ever adventured has always been 110%. It's not, coincidences happen. Never.
Interesting. It's
Yeah.
How long ago was that?
That was about 3 years ago.
Okay.
And she'll tell you that I tell that story in church. I lead people to the Lord. I'm a Christian. I used to be a Baptist, but I'm just a Christian, and I help the poor people get off the streets, lead them to God.
That's awesome.
And I run a TV show, and we talk about God on all our TV shows. So, you might see an NCI Tracy show. We talk about that kind of stuff, and it's changed my life. But I really believe after you talk, or Sasquatch talks to you, or has confronts you of some sort, that you do get these powers. That I've heard so many people say this. First time I heard that was from Brian Sawyer from Bigfoots of America. He said, "Randy, same thing happened to me." He goes, "I don't know what to do with it. Accept it. Just go on with the flow, bro."
So do you feel their Bigfoots are good creatures?
Yes.
Like they're on the good?
I'm not saying there's no bad ones. Like there's good people and bad people.
Right.
If one's maybe cut off from the pack, maybe he's got a bad attitude. But we were doing a story not too long ago on all the good things that people have said Bigfoot's done. The little boy that got saved, they said it was a bear for 2 days. The lady was canoeing. She fell out of her canoe because it hit a rock. She almost drowned. She woke up on the sandbar with trees like she was in jail, put all the way around her until help got there.
Oh, wow.
I had a group that was attacked by feral people in the woods. The husband got speared in the leg, and they were hiding behind these rocks. This log, and these feral people are throwing rocks at him, and they're throwing rocks back. The husband passed out, but Bigfoot showed up and started beating these feral people up. When she woke up, her and her husband, they were in the park. They were 10 miles inside the woods. Why does anybody want to go 10 miles to go camping when you can go 100 yards and be happy? They got to go 10 miles. They woke up at the door of their vehicle, and the only thing they had was a footprint. So I think Bigfoot's good. I don't really think there's any bad unless you really piss them off. You know what I'm saying? If you make him mad, just like anything, they're going to hurt you. I don't fear it, and I tell people, don't run. If you see a Bigfoot, don't run, because he's definitely a whole lot faster. I've seen him go. Don't run. Sit there. Don't bluff charge him. Maybe don't look him in the eyes, but, let him know that you're not there to hurt him. And, my guys do that all the time. They walk in the woods. Hey, we're not here to hurt you. We're coming in to do some investigation. Keep an eye on us. We'll keep an eye on you. We all get along. And they get rocks thrown at them, stuff like that, but no one's got hurt.
I don't think I could have ran if I wanted to. When I saw the two individuals the other day, I felt like I was literally frozen. Like I was physically frozen. Like I couldn't go forward, backwards. I couldn't do anything. It's like I've actually encountered wildlife, and I've never felt frozen like that before.
But was there any thought in your mind?
What's that?
Was there any thought in your mind?
Yeah, there was thoughts in my mind, but it was like my brain was like in a state of shock. It was really hard to explain, Randy. It's like I actually encountered 3 mountain lions about a year ago on my property, and I wasn't frozen. I was like terrified, but I could move. When I saw these individuals on the 27th, I couldn't move. I felt like I was frozen. It was the weirdest thing.
It's because your mind can't understand what you're seeing. And again,
but I didn't feel the same level of danger that I did with the mountain lion encounter.
No, because they don't give you that level of danger. People are scared because they're big. Why run? If he wanted you dead, you'd have been dead. So are they bad? No. You got to see them. You saw them. They're more interested in you than you are them. I have little kids tell me all the time, I seen Bigfoot in my backyard. My grandson, Bigfoot in his backyard. Never hurt him. Would steal his chickens, but it wouldn't hurt him. His mother was...
There's a story. Chickens.
His mother moved because Indiana had Bigfoot. She moved to West Virginia. Like, you don't think they got him there? You have to accept things, and if you don't have an open mind, then when the flying saucers get here and all that other stuff that's coming, and you're a believer, well, you'll be under one government too. But that's another story and another show. So just believe what you got to believe in your mind. And again, people have to believe me, but I do this every day, all the time. I've had people call me and send me some stories that Bigfoot raped them, and she's going to have a baby by Bigfoot, and the husband's sterile. I'm like, I'll pay for it. Let me be there when you have the kid. I want to see Harry Boy come out, to me, that's all crap. Everybody wants their 5 minutes of fame. I've been doing this too long. I ain't got nobody to impress. That's why I tell my stories now. I'm going to let my stories out. I'm putting them in the magazines because I'm too lazy to write a book like everybody else does. I'd rather be a magazine article boy and put my stuff in the magazines. And maybe I can help somebody.
What are your thoughts on infrasound, Randy?
Very much so.
Have you ever felt anything?
No, I haven't, but I've had people who have.
Yeah.
That said it made them sick, made them lightheaded, like their equilibrium was off. I've never had that happen to me. I do truly, tigers, lions, elephants have infrasound. You know what I'm saying? They use it all the time. So, yes, I do believe in that, 110%.
What do you think is going to end the mystery, or do you think it's not ever going to end, the mystery of the Bigfoot?
It'll never end because the government doesn't want to spend the money to do the research. They want to keep it a secret. But if it's such a secret, all right, and they keep telling us, no, there's no Bigfoot. Why do they have signs in California and other state parks that says, don't feed or molest the Bigfoot? Well, if there's no Bigfoot, why are you putting these signs up?
True. That's interesting. What do you think the best evidence, physical evidence of these things would be, Randy?
I think the best would be if we could find one dead that died not from being shot, because I don't believe in killing them. If we could find the bones, or actually get a live one would be probably better. But you know, I believe. I didn't believe this the other day when someone said this to me. He believes that the Bigfoot, when they die, they eat their own.
Oh, well, I don't think I
I
believe
haven't
that.
heard that before.
They say they eat their own. That's why we don't find any bones. I said, well, we don't find any bones either with bears. You know?
That's a horrid thought.
Yeah, I'd never heard that one before.
I
That's
didn't
wild.
either, but, you know, there's no graves. There's no caves that we're finding bones in. I mean, we find giants, we find mummies, but we can't find a Bigfoot. Now, it's either they don't die and they're hundreds of years old, or what's the other? Someone's got to be doing something with those bodies.
Well, they probably die deep within their home areas. We see them kind of on the fringes where we intersect, but I'm sure they die deep, deep, deep in their home territory. So that's maybe could be an explanation. Who knows?
Well, don't you think a bear, a mountain lion, cougar, whatever you want to call it, would go in there and drag a bone or two out of there, like they do the Indian reservations? Animals dig up those graves too. I've seen that happen before. Coyotes will dig up anything they can. It's just we've never found anything, and we have a lot of footprints. But then again, you know, are these giants? You know, no, they're Bigfoot. That's what they are. To me, that's enough proof. And people say every picture taken is blurry. Well, if you take your camera and you put it on sport or active, you know, where it's made for objects moving, you probably would get a good picture. But when you're taking your phone and you don't have it on sport or your 35 millimeter camera made for objects moving fast, it's going to be blurred.
Huh.
I mean, think about it.
Yeah. Well, and most people aren't ready to take the picture anyways. It's you have just a split second to react, and I don't even know that I would go for my camera. I would just be watching it. I wouldn't even go for my camera.
I went for my camera that day. By the time I went like this, he was gone.
Yeah, that's why I wouldn't take my eyes off it for a second. There's no way I'd go for a camera. I would just be focused on what I'm seeing.
I had my camera in my hand when they crossed in front of me, and that was about the last thing on my mind. Okay, it was getting a picture.
That's where I would be too. I agree. That's totally what I would be at.
The Indian chief out of California, he says that he saw Bigfoot. Winchester rifle. He said he cocked every bullet out of the gun, thought he was shooting at him. And not one bullet fired. That's all he was doing was the bullets were dropping out. He went home and told his brother, and his brother said, well, let's go get the bullets and we'll follow from there. All the bullets were never fired. It just emptied the gun.
Wow.
Now, if you're a hunter, did Bigfoot make him do that? Did Bigfoot say, look, you don't want to kill me, put the gun away.
Yeah.
And I don't believe these people said, I shot Bigfoot. I'm not buying it. I've seen Bigfoot get shot twice now. No blood, and kept on going.
Yeah, I couldn't shoot him. There's no way I would shoot him. No way.
I don't really want to shoot him. I just want to hold conversation. If you guys will look up, here's something's really weird. Look up diaries of Civil War soldiers.
Right.
You will find, I had some on our show. My grandfather was a little boy during the Civil War, and he used to tell me stories how Bigfoot would run through the camps and grab a dog or grab a pig or something and keep going. And it was such a flash. We did a show not too long ago, Diary of a Confederate soldier, where he got shot and the Bigfoots took him into a cave. The female made him better while the males watched. When he was better, they took him to the edge of the river and set him down. This is in his diary.
Wow. That's interesting.
Yeah.
There's a story from the northern Oregon coast where the tribal people lived by a lake, and they warned their kids not to wander off. And like 2 kids wandered off, and the Bigfoot people stole the kids. Basically, the whole tribe was grieving for the missing kids, And then about a year or two later, the kids came back, visited their parents in the middle of the night, snuck into their tent, and they were speaking a totally different language. So it's like, and then the kids left and never came back. So like the Bigfoot stole the kids, but didn't kill them in this Native American tradition.
You want to hear another crazy story?
Favorite incidents that I heard.
Jerry, our survivor man from our team,
Mm-hmm.
Him and his wife, they got all these little animals, adopt them out that are sick and stuff like that, He had a little Yorkie named Scoot.
Oh.
Scoot was blind, no teeth, and had bad back legs. Well, Scoot got out of the house. Scoot was gone for 19 days.
Wow.
One of the farmers down the road said, I think I saw your dog standing on that sandbar down by the creek. Now we're talking sandbar and water all the way around him. Jerry goes down there and there's Scoot. No footprints, no doggy tracks, just Scoot sitting there. Scoot's blind.
Wow.
All right. He picks up Scoot. Scoot smells like a Bigfoot. He smells nasty.
Wow.
Scoot gained 3 pounds.
All right.
Scoot's back legs now work like a puppy. He's all but he still can't see. He's got no teeth, but he gained pounds. Well,
that's a great story.
It gets better. Jerry takes Scoot down 2 days later and says, come on, Scoot, I'm going to go down and see if there's any footprints where they dropped you off, whatever. And he goes down there. He puts Scoot on that sand pile, and he hears a woo, woo, woo. Scoot starts going towards that sound.
Going crazy.
Because the Bigfoot took care of him for 19 days.
Wow. What a great story.
I love that story, and it's a true story.
Yeah.
It didn't eat the little dog because they knew the dog couldn't eat them. No teeth, but his back legs were cured. I had another guy real quick. He had scoliosis. Went camping with his family. They saw a Bigfoot. The Bigfoot female grabs him by the legs and jerks him out of the tent. He passes out. The family gets up the next morning. No more scoliosis.
Wow.
Gone. Now, do I believe that story? I got to, because the man had doctor's papers saying, he had scoliosis, and comes back from a camping trip and he's like, zippity doo dah, so.
Wow. Incredible.
I hear so many stories, and we look into these stories because I get a lot of crazies. Doug scans his guess a whole lot more than I do, but he's going, what the hell did I bring Randy on here for?
Well, I love the Scoot story.
I figured you'd be entertainment, Randy. You'd be entertaining, and you are.
Yeah, well,
but I do think you're a very sincere person.
Absolutely.
Well, like I said, I have, I tell the same stories. I never change it. It always stays the same. And if my grandfather and my dad always said, if you make up one lie, you got to tell the second lie. You got to tell the third lie. But are you going to remember that first lie? Because if you don't, be honest with everybody, then you never have to lie.
Yeah, agreed.
True.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So, that's the way I've always had my life, and I try, believe me, I might be an evangelist preacher. Am I a sinner? Oh, hell yeah.
We all
I'm
are.
one of the biggest things I'll put breath into, because I don't want to be two-faced. I talk to people, I swear I tell dirty jokes, and, God's probably going, okay, you're funny today, but, you got to stop that when you get up here. So he lets me do what I got to do, and I forgive him, he forgives me, and life goes on. So,
do you, when you meet a new person, do you dig into the Bigfoot mystery with them, or some other? I mean, what's your favorite thing to do when you meet a new person? Do you just start spilling your guts, or what do you do?
No, I try to find out if they're crazies or not. Like, hey, what do you do for a living? I cash in chips on the corner. Okay, have a nice day. It depends. Most of the time, when I talk to strange people, God will put his hand in my heart and say, ask them if they believe in me. And from there, I'll say, if you died right now, do you know where you would go? Most of them will say, well, I go to Catholic church and I like candles, or I help the old lady across the street, so I'm a good person. You ain't getting to heaven that way. I'm sorry. It ain't flying. If you didn't accept the Lord Jesus as your personal savior and you got baptized as obedience to God, you ain't going. You're going down to the fiery brims down there. So, but most of the time, it's God that comes up in conversations. And then they'll start telling, or they'll say, I'll be watching a Bigfoot movie, or they ask me about my TV station. What do you guys talk about? We talk about dogmen and werewolves. Oh, really? What's that? Like, and then it'll roll into that. But somewhere normally in that conversation, God has me puts his hand on my heart and says, ask him.
Nice.
So what do you think,
So, Randy,
what do you think about the dog man phenomena? What is it? And then Khym, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. You can go first.
You're fine.
Yeah, go ahead, Khym. Go ahead.
No, go ahead,
I
Khym.
just had a question about your belief system. Do you think Sasquatch is the offspring of the Nephilim or Elohim?
Yeah.
You think they are?
Yeah.
Because it would stand to reason that they would have these spiritual abilities if they were the offspring of angels mixed with humans.
Well, if you think about this, if you go back to the Egyptian times, even the cavemen on the walls, they had big hairy things. Well, all the other things they drew. So I'm going to take that's a Bigfoot. And then they also had things with like helmets on their heads.
True.
Okay?
True that.
The Egyptians saw spaceships and they thought they were chariots.
Correct.
People
they
drew
talk
what
about those in the Bible too.
Right.
So.
They didn't know what they didn't know what a spaceship was, so they drew it as a chariot.
Right.
Bigfoot's been around for as long as that I know of, and I do a lot of research, and I'm a big history buff. They've been around for years and years and years, thousands and thousands of years.
Right. There's some interesting stories in the Akkadian and the ancient alien, people that have studied that. So I'm fascinated with some of the stories of the giants and the gods and how that, transcribes into religious texts. And the story of the Elohim is one of the ones that I've actually read and found really interesting, because that's the offspring of the angels, basically, that works to breed with humans. So,
God flooded the earth 11 times, and people think it's only one.
Yeah, a few times.
It wasn't his first day at the rodeo. Let's pull the plug and drain everybody out. No, 11 times. But the angels, I think the angels had offspring and they were hidden away.
Right.
And yourself, if you lived in the woods long enough, your bodies would start, you grow more hair. You know what I'm saying? Your body would change to me, that's environment. So yes, as far as Dogman goes all the way back to the Egyptian times, because there was 135,000 soldiers of Dogmen. You take Nubius, half dog, half man. Where did he come from? If you look in the book of Enoch, they all came from space. The half snake, dog, the bull, every picture you see has something to do with a spaceship.
Right.
Go to the Catholic.
Wasn't St. Andrew's also a dog man, one of the saints?
Baptist, it was John the Baptist, I think, was one of them, was a half dog.
One of them was depicted as being a dog, human dog. Yeah.
If you go to the Vatican and look at, or pull up on the internet pictures in the Vatican, every picture you'll see, there's a spaceship.
True. Yeah.
You'll see a sun, you'll see a moon, but you'll see a spaceship. You'll see Mary and Jesus and Joseph standing there with the two hills on the side. There's a sun peeking there. There's a spaceship.
Yep. some of the great paintings of the Renaissance period had spaceships painted into them also. Yeah.
Yes. And like I said, I had that dream about the aliens taking all these people after the sacrifices and bringing them back. And I saw werewolves and dogmen and Bigfoot and all these other little things. And I called up Tracy. I said, I've really lost my friggin' mind, hon. She goes, why? I said, sit down and buckle up. And I told the story I told you. And she goes, don't fight it. Just go with it. You know, it was meant to be. You're having these dreams for a reason. The disaster that happened with a boat in New York City, I talked about that 3 weeks before it happened.
Interesting.
The storm that came to North Carolina and Florida, I told my friends about it a month before it happened. I said, this is coming. Sure. If you talk to Elijah Henderson, his dad was big into Bigfoot. I'm sure Doug knows Elijah Henderson or has heard of him. I told him, do not go on this Bigfoot hunt. I said, if you go, bad things are going to happen. I told him what they were wearing, what was going to happen, what the place looked like. I'd never been there before. They didn't go. He said, nope, Randy brought this dream way too real for us. They left because what happened was I was standing at the gate as they run past, and this monster runs after him. His sister starts, I didn't know she had asthma. She can't breathe. She's sitting on the doorstep of this old shack with a wooden swing. You call him, he'll tell you the story. He tells the story all the time in the show. The guy goes to get her asthma medicine out of the truck, and this monster reaches over and rips his head off his shoulders and kills him.
Wow.
And Elijah says, nope. I told him what they were going to eat, what the fence looked like. I told them what they were going to wear, what they had in their hands. And everybody says, well, you shouldn't have told me you changed your destiny. No, I think if God didn't want me to tell them, I don't think I changed their destiny. It was meant for me to save their lives. So, like I said, if you dream this stuff, go with it. You know, don't question why.
By the way, Khym and Randy, you guys are hosting now.
Oh, all right. All right.
I got nothing to add. Take it away, man. This is great.
Take it away, guys. We're watching.
Okay.
Oh my.
Hey, Khym, you have to come on one of my shows. I do 9 shows a week. You come on, help me host.
All right. Send me a link.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about everything. But you know, is there anything that you want to ask me?
Khym? I've just been like doing my own thing down here on the South Coast, trying to find evidence of Sasquatch. I've never really had the dreams or the paranormal experiences like you're talking about, but I was curious about the religious, you know, the connection between the giants and the forest people. Like, so that's something I'm really interested in. I
truly believe the Indians say that the Bigfoot is the guardian of the woods. And, you know, if you want to start to think about this, at one time they battled. The Indians and Bigfoot battled. And then they
I've heard that.
Treaty. And they would give up one of their virgin girls to the Bigfoot. Now, what he did with her, I have no idea. But over the years, I've heard, I have 2 aunts that are married to 2 Indian chiefs. And whenever I see that, I'm always asking about old stories. I love talking to old people, 90 years old and up, because they tell you good stories. And Bigfoot taught the Indians, and the Indians taught Bigfoot. Because where did the Indians come up with all these medicines? They just didn't wake up one day and say, hey, let's go get this rutabaga and go get these bark, and we're going to make a medicine. It's going to cure us. You know, someone had to show it to them.
Yeah, so, they had to learn it somewhere. That's true.
So I think Bigfoot taught them. I think Bigfoot taught them, and I believe Bigfoot probably taught them the English language. Besides, after they mixed up with us white people, you know.
Have you heard stories, Randy? Have you heard stories? I've actually heard a couple about Bigfoot's seen coming out of the tunnels in Vegas and strolling across the desert. I've heard these stories. I don't know what to think. What are your thoughts?
Well, I know we have an underground city here that no one's really supposed to really know about.
Right.
If the world comes to an end, we're all told to go to certain hotels. and go to the basement and life will be good. We can eat for 20 years. I know that's why everybody moves to Vegas. All the richie people, they all move here because they know they got it safe. I'm not rich, believe me. I'm so poor I can't afford to pay attention. Outside of Vegas, we went to Pahrump. There's a country, it goes off the main Las Vegas Boulevard. 2 guys spotted a gray 10-foot Bigfoot. They said it was solid gray. And the news picked it up for about 1 day, and it was dropped. You can't find that story nowhere. I tried to find those guys. I drove over there because I know exactly where it's at. I'm like, oh, I'll catch him tonight about 2 a.m, trucking down the road. No. Just like the aliens that landed here on top of the rooftop. The cops said, if they come back, don't call us. We have alien ships all over the place. Most of these alien ships are 2 miles from my house. But no, I've heard that, but as far as ever seeing it, there's so many crazy things that live in the tunnels here.
Like,
I mean,
By the way, you guys are fired now, Jeff.
Are we?
We're fired.
You're back.
Oh, it's kind of nice. I love it. You guys live. You guys are doing
nice. Took a little break.
I was gonna say I have had UFO experiences. Like growing up here, we would watch the orbs and lights offshore when we were teenagers. We'd sit on the bluff and there'd be these lights offshore. They'd stop, zip off at weird angles, go really fast across the horizon. And then my brother, when he was a teenager, actually claims to have been abducted. They saw one of those big classic saucer shapes when he was coming home late at night. And he lost hours of time. Him and his best friend showed up at our house. They woke me up coming in that night. It was like 2 a.m. and they both come busting through the front door with the same story. And I'm standing there going, what's wrong? Well, my brother, they're freaking out, telling me they saw this giant silver ship come over the driveway, over the tree line, and like right in front of their car died. They're both describing lights and they could see like aliens in the windows, and it was the weirdest thing, but I wasn't there, so I didn't see that. But I have no reason not to believe my brother and his friend. It was weird because they had the exact same story at the same time, telling me, freaking out. So
I believe there's
been stuff.
Aliens walking among us.
Yeah, could be. I've met a few that I think are probably in that category.
I would think in Vegas you run across some pretty interesting people. It's kind of a nexus of strangeness.
I've been everywhere as a wrestler. I've traveled out of the country, been to cities, thought I saw it all. I moved to Vegas. I've been here 14 years. I still ain't seen it all. And every day something else surprises me.
It's a wild place, man. It's something else.
Yeah.
Somebody
like day and night from where I'm at.
All right. Flat Rockland asked about whatever happened to that story, that Vegas story where the aliens apparently landed in the backyard and there were cops over there and blah, blah, blah. Do you know?
That's the story I was just talking about. That's what I just said a minute ago. The cops said, don't call us if they come back. Nothing. It's just nothing happened. And I there's a lot of aliens. Did you guys hear a spaceship crashed at Area 51 the other day outside the gate?
Yeah, I did hear that.
I didn't.
Yeah, they think he stopped to refuel and couldn't make it and didn't get all the way to where he was supposed to be and crashed out there. Big fire. I live 2 miles from Nellis Airport, and I see all the secret airplanes take off. The ones look like bats and ones look like triangles that turn into little peas. Not little, but, like a silver bean. I see holograms. You'll see one ship, an airplane, all of a sudden there's 10 others around it. We see all this stuff here. So I've actually got a picture of an airplane taking off and in hologram, and it looks like the plane's breaking apart in midair.
Oh, wow.
or the hologram was coming out of the off the plane. It was just a lucky picture.
I'm just looking up the story. This just happened September 23rd. Report that an object had crashed right outside of Area 51.
There you go.
I hadn't heard that before.
I never heard about that.
No, me neither. I just did a quick search here and it popped up. Yeah, that's the first I've heard about it. I guess there was increased UAV and drone activity.
Yep.
Increased
radio
traffic.
It was a hell of a fire.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't find any images, but I'm just reading the story right now. Pretty wild.
Skinwalker Ranch, I watched their cameras at nighttime, and I've seen portals open up and spaceships fly into them and whoop, floats right up behind them.
Well, how did you get a feed to that?
I'm a member.
Oh, you have to be a member, then you can.
Yeah, I'm a member. I'm a member. You gotta be a member.
Member.
You gotta have one of these.
Wow.
There you go. Look at that.
All right.
And
How
then
do you get one of those?
You got to be a member, Khym. You just
You gotta
got
be Rockin' Randy.
Dr. Randy, he'll get you in. He'll get you a
And
discount.
I'll
All
tell you
right.
what, it's only $10.
Only $10.
Per month?
I got $10. I can
Is that per month?
And it's $10 a month. You'll meet people from all over the world that watch the show, and we all sit around. I've got a 70-inch TV, and I'm watching like 6 to 8 screens. You know, the ones they have inside their command center.
Yeah.
That's where I saw my Bigfoot glisten. I've seen UFOs go into these portals, whoops, and disappear. We've seen, my wife and I are watching one day. This thing went up, went down, went up, went down like a heartbeat, and then went shh. And what in the world was that? And then you can actually stop anything you see, though, you have to report to them. That's the only buffer. You have to write down it was on camera 3 at 2,400 hours, blah, 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 and you got to report it.
Okay.
And other people out there tell you their experience. You want to meet some people with UFOs and stuff? That's the place to go to talk to.
Wow.
Interesting.
It's a good plug. I'm going to get Brandon on. My nephew is a really good friend of his.
Yeah.
I've got Brandon's cell phone number, actually, his cell number on my phone. Brandon told John he could give it to me, and so I'm afraid to call him.
I've got Brandon's cell phone number if you like it, and I called him, and he told me, yeah, Randy, I'll come on your show, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And he says, call me back. You got to go through a secretary for anything you do, which I believe is his wife. I talked to him while he was getting ready to go into a meeting. Yeah, send me the information. And I sent them the information, and no one ever called me back.
Yeah.
I've sent him letters. I mean, I've got his cell phone. I'll give it to you. I won't give it to you on here, but I can give it to you.
Well, I've got it. No, I've got his cell. I've got his real cell.
Well, I got his real cell because he answers it.
Oh, well, there you go. It's tough, it really is tough to get certain people on that are used to really doing big shows. And,
I don't understand is, I mean, I got his cell phone number. Anything you send him, paperwork or anything, you have to send to his office manager there.
Yeah.
He'll answer the phone. He'll talk to you like you're the best of buddies, but won't show up unless you're a female. And if you're a female, we'll all be at the show. Because every time I turn around, this girl has got them on and she's doing an interview. I'm like, what am I, Swiss cheese?
Okay. So I have a better chance than you.
I got to grow a set to get him to come on? Come on.
Should I play the disclaimer again, Doc?
Yeah, run the disclaimer again. Jesus. You're going to ruin it for me now.
You guys are something.
So what do you really think here, Randy? So how did you, so preacher, TV host, producer, we know that. But tell me about Channel 12. You've got a bunch of podcasts that you air on television.
Yes.
And you can anybody can become a member of Channel 12 if you don't live around Vegas. And so you're kind of doing what I'm doing, sort of. We're competitors.
Well, most people run one or two shows. I've got like 14, 15 different talk shows. I show movies, classic movies, cartoons.
Do you license these?
Yes. As a matter of fact, I've got a new show opening up. It's called Rockin' MTV. I'm bringing MTV back for independent musicians. If you got a contract, you can't be on there. You come on, and just like MTV did, I'm going to play all genres of music, gospel, country, rock, you name it will be played on there. And right now, I've also got a independent music award show going on and an independent music award show going on with RMTV. So I've got some new shows coming up from Australia. I've got a brand new show that's really out there from the UK. It's called Just Talks. And I got some crazy shows. We're like the largest out there. Nobody else does as many shows as I do. And I produce probably 3/4 of them.
Wow.
And it's only $9.99 a month, no contracts. You can watch us all over the world. You can watch us all over the world.
Nice.
That's pretty awesome.
Thank you, Nick. Don't forget to hit the like button.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll get you back on, Randy.
Yeah, this is fun.
We'll get you back on. It's been fun.
Hey, can I get a plug in real quick?
Yeah, please. That's why you're here.
Check us out on Channel 12 TV Network, where you never know what's going on. New content is added. New content each and every day. And if you missed a show this week, you can watch it. Last week, you can watch it this week. It's $9.99. No contracts. It's Channel 12 TV Network. Channel 12 TV Network.
There you go.
.nowcast.cc. It's not Channel 12 TV. It's Channel 12 TV Network. That's most important. .nowcast.cc. And check out our store. It's Channel 12 TV Network. And
there it is.
There you go.
We put it up in chat. And you can subscribe to the Untold Radio Network for free.
Yes, you can.
And you can buy Khym's hats at Sasquatch Rocks.
We also have a store called Channel 12 TV Network.printful.me. We have over 200 something items, a 26-page catalog. I've got the best quality in clothing, coats, bathing suits, hats, bar glasses, you name it, we have it all.
So he's competing with you too, Khym.
Huh?
He's competing with Khym too. You missed it. She started a clothing line.
He's a born promoter.
I hear that.
No, we love it.
I just need a sponsor so I can be out in the woods all the time.
Yeah.
Hey, I take that spot. I have a lot of sponsors. I have MGM and a lot of places here in Vegas, because I live here in Vegas. But Doug, you guys need to bring your show to Channel 12 TV Network.
We could maybe do something.
You're never my competition. You're always my friend.
I'm just joking. Me and Randy are friends, and I would love to do anything I can do to promote your channel.
We want everybody to do good.
Yes.
That's me. I want everybody to make money.
I want everybody to succeed. I really do.
We love you, Randy.
Oh, I love you guys. When you called me the other day,
some love over here, and somebody should send me some night vision binoculars so I can do more research.
Listen. Go to Temu.
Yeah.
Temu.
Yeah. They might be a little small, but they'll work.
No. Go to Temu. It's called 8 times 100. It's got a tiger on it. They're really large. It's got a nice screen, and they're $26. $26. Okay, $26. I'll check it out. Listen. I'm in Vegas.
Listen, Linda.
You can look up and you'll see things moving that shouldn't be moving with those. You don't have to stick them to your head. It's like watching TV. Woo.
That'd be great because I don't like putting the binoculars up because I like to like be able to yeah.
And it's
That would be good.
I'm telling you, it's awesome.
All right.
twice as
All right.
fun.
There's the question of the night, Randy. Who's bigger, Andre or Bigfoot?
Bigfoot.
Ta-da.
Bigfoot.
There you go, flat.
Dave Waggard and Michael, all these guys are out here tonight. They come from my show. They're the hosts for my shows up here telling me hello, come to watch your show because we are good friends and we have worked together before. I want to see you guys come to Channel 12 now. Come on.
And Roger, I do want to plug Roger's in the house. Roger does Squatch and Holler on the Untold Radio Network.
Yes, he does.
And we love you, Roger. So everybody tune into that. I can't remember what night you're on. I think
He's on Thursdays. And the last episode was
Yeah.
MK Davis. It was a great episode.
Yeah. So anyhow, Squatch and Holler.
I think the first time I met you, Doug, was on Marie Dumont show.
Yeah, I was on your show.
Yeah, I was on my show on Channel 12.
With Marie,
Yeah,
I
Maria.
believe. Marie
Dumont.
Dumont. Yeah.
She's been on the show. She's awesome.
Oh, I love her. I call her the queen of the swamp.
She's great. She was great.
Somebody says Andre didn't have the height.
Yeah.
Andre was only like 7'1".
Oh, is that all?
Yeah.
I have to plug Real American Monsters because if I don't, Chris will call me and go, how come you didn't plug Real American Monsters? So I'm going to plug Real American Monsters. And it's Chris Reinhardt on the Untold Radio Network. And Chris is like a bro, man. We talk
We've got
every
some great
day.
shows on the network.
Yeah, he's got great shows. I'm just joking around. Anyhow, Minxie says I'm falling asleep. Okay, yeah, we're gonna go.
Good night.
Roger said Chris is awesome. Blah,
Thank you,
blah,
guys.
blah.
If you're going to go in the green room, I'll give you my number. Call me. I might have some stuff for you. I might be able to work you out a deal on your rocks.
You know what? I have. If it's okay, I can connect. I'll connect you two. I'll connect both you guys via
Okay.
text if that's okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
I'll do that right
Kim,
after
you've
the
been a
show.
great guest.
Yes, thank you.
Randy, I already knew you would be.
And that was very mild tonight because I'm usually. a
Oh, I
whole
know.
lot
You were
of-
really. I think you laid off the Red Bull tonight.
Yeah.
You held
It's
back.
been fun for sure.
If you watch
Randy,
me on the
Randy
NCI
is so
show,
fired up. You couldn't get a word in edgewise.
I'm on the NCI show. I open the show, me and Brian Sawyer, and we stay lit the whole time.
Oh yeah.
That show is nothing but pure entertainment, but you're going to learn.
He puts on his cape. He becomes Rockin' Randy.
You know.
All right, stay put, Randy. Stay put,
All right.
Kim. We're gonna do our wisdom of the week, and we're coming right back.
We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Yeah, don't go anywhere.
It's now time for Untold Radio AM Wisdom of the Week. Friends don't have to be perfect or polished. What matters is that they keep showing up, even when the ride gets muddy. They don't fix everything, but they help keep you from rattling apart. They tighten the bolts in your courage, loosen the ones in your fear, and sometimes they just hand you the right emotional wrench when your brain can't find it. So take care of your friends. They're your chosen family that makes the long road shorter and the whole trip a lot more worth it. Good night. We hope to see you all next week. If you like the show tonight, please consider giving us a thumbs up, leaving a nice comment, and most of all, subscribing and hitting the bell so you will be notified when a new episode is dropping. Also, please share this episode. Now back to Doug and Jeff for our wrap.
Great wisdom as always, Doug. Nice job.
And Randy, back to Doug and Jeff, but also Randy and Kim.
Thank you so much for being on, guys. It was a great
Yeah,
conversation.
it was fun.
I got to tell
That
you,
was
this is
fun.
the first show I did where I haven't smoked.
Oh, that's
Right?
good. You forgot about smoking.
Well, because I didn't know if you guys allowed smoking. I'm over here like, I need a cigarette so bad. 'Cause I used to smoke at least a pack. And I got my coffee right here, my iced coffee, and I'm thinking, nobody's drinking or smoking. Okay, I won't.
You can light
Wait
up
a
my
minute.
one second.
Wait a minute. Did you say
Wait a
drink?
minute.
Wait a minute. Did you say
Light up.
drink? Oh, I could use one.
Oh,
Salute.
anyhow, yeah, salute to you too.
Salute.
Here, I've got my bottle of water.
There you go.
All right, we will. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you.
What
everybody in
happens if the
chat.
campfire stays at the campfire?
Exactly. Yes.
Yes, thank you guys so much for asking
Thank you.
me.
Yep.
Doug, when you text me and asked me, I'm like, yeah, I was happy. I was like,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
I'm gonna do this.
That's great.
Text him at 3 a.m. He answered with
did.
he answered in 5 milliseconds. Okay. Anyhow, good night, guys. We'll
night.
see you all next week, same place, same
Good
time.
night.
Sunday.
Good night. God
Good night,
bless.
everybody. Thank you.
Good night.
You're like,
Call you up in the middle of the night. Been bothered by dreams, ain't feeling alright. You give me comfort, say just give it some time. By the end of our talk, I'm feeling just fine. You and I will always know where we belong. This ain't no ordinary love we got going on. I'll pick you up in my 59 Ford. We head on down the road until we get bored. Just you and me and the sun and the wind. If the rain should start falling, we'll head on home again. Everybody else can see where we belong. Oh, ain't no ordinary love we got going on. At the end of the world, together forever is one, and I'll wait. If ever you should be in doubt, and I pray they never can pull us apart, and I'll wait for the time when we'll be together every day. But I know if ever we'll be led astray, that I'll find my way back home to you again. At the end of the world, together forever is one, and I'll wait if ever you should be